How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the HR Office Podcast Live, episode 24. We're almost to 25, which means after that one will be the year anniversary for episode 26. As always, I'm your host, Greg, joined here by Mira. Say hello. May is not here with us today. She went to Little Tokyo. Going to talk about Marie Calendar. People who are watching this on YouTube are like, what the fuck does Marie Calendars have to do with anything?
What happened with Marie Calendars?
I don't know. My grandma messaged us like literally right as we were about to go live, along with posts about how their food sucks.
Because it's her birthday today.
It's her birthday today. Absolutely. Happy birthday to Grammy. Hi. May is not with us today. I mean, she's probably going to be walking through that door at some point, but she went to Little Tokyo with Chrissy to go to the Sanrio store for their little Gretzko event, which apparently Erica Mendez and Ben Diskin were having a meet and greet there that day.
And she didn't invite us. Still a little salty.
Oh, man.
I'm dyeing my hair and we'll have to pick up my boy, but otherwise I can stay. Wow, not spending time with Grandma. We actually were there yesterday.
Yeah, we saw her.
We had like a joint family birthday thing.
Yeah, we did. Dude, July is fucked with birthdays because we got...
Y'all were popping out in July. What's going on?
Apparently, yeah, because Grammy was born in July. My sister was born in July. May was born in July. Brad was born in July. My brother-in-law.
Rip Marie Calendar.
My brother-in-law was born on August 2nd, and then Chrissy was
so
born
close.
like a week later. Like all these birthdays.
Oh,
there
speaking
she
of.
is. Right, man, she is rolling the fuck in. Hello, how are you doing? What's up?
We get dinner after?
Yeah, sure. It's gonna be leftover night.
Right now we're just focusing on podcasts.
It's literally leftover night, so if you want to make food in the middle of us doing podcasts, go for it. Everyone say hello to May. Say hello to May. Hi, you're like rushing in here. You doing okay, bro?
I have a lot of stuff.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that makes sense. You're probably losing everything. But anyway, so May is now no longer missing. We can erase that from the topics, but it's all good. Anyway.
What were you missing in the first place?
Well, you were missing because you weren't on the podcast. That's what I was saying.
Now I'm missing though.
Well, still, regardless. Apparently your family gets their fuck on in October. Well, apparently that is in fact the case. But regardless...
Here we are.
Yeah, we're talking about a bunch of stuff going on today.
Romano says hi, Maybe.
Romano
Hi.
says hi. Great riveting podcast. No, so we're starting off tonight's podcast with a breaking story with something that's going on currently, or did go on.
It just
over this week.
finished.
It just finished. So you're the one that really brought this to my attention, so I'm going to let you kind of take the lead to kind of give a summary of what the fuck is going on with Tokyo and Tulsa this week.
There was an update. Somebody got kicked out.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about it yet.
It popped on my Facebook like 2 minutes ago. That's why.
Regardless, so you were the one that was starting to tell me about this. So what the fuck's going on with Tokyo and Tulsa?
Apparently they're just being a piece of shit. That's pretty much all I'm getting.
That's pretty much... I was about to say, you were the one explaining to me that there was a bunch of shit going on.
I didn't go into a deep dive. I'm just looking at what my friends have been posting.
Well, what have your friends been posting about Tokyo?
That it's been shit.
Okay, what specifically? What the fuck? Okay, no, like...
So, Artist Alley is really bad. They're like basically an abandoned
They're an abandoned Hobby Lobby,
and to get anywhere, you have to take a shuttle.
Yeah, that's a 9-minute... So... Here's what I was able to... Mira, I was trying to let you try to figure something out.
I was trying to help.
To take a lead
I was,
on
but
them.
I got sidetracked.
Oh my god. Alrighty. Well, it's fine. I'm going to take the lead on this one now. So, apparently, a bunch of shit happened with Tokyo and Tulsa. If I'm getting the context correct, and I know there's going to be people in the comments that have went to Tokyo and Tulsa that'll be able to correct me on the stuff that I didn't get right. But apparently they had one venue, then like 2 weeks before the convention, they said, "Oh yeah, by the way, we had to switch venues," and then proceeded to tell the artists at Artist Alley, "By the way, you're going to be at this Hobby Lobby that's a 9-minute drive away from the convention." So they get to Tokyo and Tulsa, and I can't speak for the main venue that they have for Tokyo and Tulsa. Where
I can't either because I've never been.
But the Artist Alley was in an abandoned Hobby Lobby, and which is just fucking
It sounds like a joke.
It's not. There are photos. There are literally photos of someone setting up an artist alley, and there's a bunch of stored boxes and wood. It's so odd. It's insane. Like the place apparently has really poor lighting, and all this shit. And I guess one of the artists that was there was posted on Twitter about everything that was going on. This person named Hannah posted like what was going on, saying, "Heads up to those attending Tokyo and Tulsa. They really haven't made it well known, but the Artist Alley is going to be in a separate building. Please, if you want to support us indie artists, take time to ride the shuttle or drive directly to the Hobby Lobby." And then another one, another person brought up a post that said, "Please bring your own lighting because there's not really much lighting in here." Also, someone made this and added it to a group just in case any of you followers are in a group. It's basically like there's a lot going on. So basically, this person Hannah, who reached out and was saying, "Hey, this is
it's a piece of shit.
This is a piece of shit, right?" This person Hannah, who gave the warning about what Tokyo and Tulsa was doing, got kicked out of Tokyo and Tulsa. Because all she did was let people who were going to the convention know, hey, we're going to be at this fucking Hobby Lobby now. If you want to go see an Artist Alley, you're going to have to make the trek up there.
Is the article stay in there? Because the one I read said that she made a joke on her Twitter, like, hey, if you guys don't want to pay, just sneak in. She made that joke on her Twitter.
That it's not in this article.
Okay, there was another article I read where I think that's the one.
Okay, so
where she jokingly said, "Yeah, just sneak in, it's okay."
And she was then told to leave the event and not come back for 4 years. Hannah has been set up in Tokyo and Tulsa. There's a lot of people patching. I'm trying to see where her tweet was.
It might be further down. Who knows?
I paid $200.
I joked with a couple of people about having them sneak in instead of pay for their tickets, which I accept was a flaw. She broke the rules of her contract.
Wait. What kind of fuckery is that you...
We're not artists. We don't know what they have to deal with. I
understand that, like, conventions have, protocol about, like, how things run. But I've never heard, especially with how poorly managed Anime Expo is, I have never heard of anyone trash-talking Anime Expo and getting kicked out. Or making a joke of just sneak on in and getting kicked out. What kind of fuckery is that?
No idea.
Yeah. I told you to make food while I'm in the middle of a... Wow, fucking lame. What's up?
Do you want me to jump in still?
Yeah, sure. You can jump in at any point, yeah. So, so this is something that Mira would just bring... Like, we literally, 30 minutes before the podcast, you're saying, wow, apparently everyone's complaining about Tokyo and Tulsa. I'm like, I've never heard of this place. I've never heard of this con. And there's a bunch of other things. There's, photos with how dark it is, because, the lighting is just dog shit in there. See, talking to Tulsa, you should definitely let them know just how badly they were treated around. Okay, so this is someone on Twitter. Tokyo and Tulsa waits 2 weeks before the con to let people know what's going on. If anything, the convention should have been canceled. If anything, the convention should have been canceled for the year or postponed with at least an offering for everyone to get refunds. Okay, so here's the full thing. So y'all, if you ever see an artist saying they're tabling at Tokyo and Tulsa next year, you should definitely let them know how badly they treated them this year around. Like Akon shit with a growth year that came about because whoever was in charge for whatever reason decided to quit and pass it on to new people a couple months before the convention. But they made everyone aware that they would be changing venues immediately. And then Tokyo and Tulsa, that's the whole thing. So Tokyo and Tulsa waited until 2 weeks before the con. That's some horseshit. I don't know about you, but that is some fucking horseshit. And then there's one artist that's, I guess, kind of refuting some of the stuff with their own experience, but it doesn't mean that they...
Just because you have a good experience doesn't mean anyone else
absolutely
didn't.
It's just like, the people that, sit there and say, wow, why are you guys complaining about Anime Expo? My AX is just fine. I'm like, it may have been fine for you, but it was dog shit for a lot of people, which we're going to get into some of the poor shit that Anime Expo did. But I would argue, I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking back to how horrible day one for Anime Expo was, and I was about to say that this thing trumps Anime Expo's bullshit from day one, but I don't know. Anime Expo's day one shenanigans were pretty bad as well, from what I saw. But
I'm sorry, but when you take out the ADA line, that's already
you're
already one of the worst.
Oh shit, that is cool. Oh man,
this is on the
Mira, she's trying to show you something, and you went to your phone.
Okay.
Oh
this
my
is on
gosh!
The chalkboard at Jungle today.
There you go.
That's pretty cool. But anyway, so that's probably what's going on with Tokyo and Tulsa. If anyone happens to watch this and knows a lot more information, is able to give more context and stuff like that, definitely throw that out. It'd be really interesting to hear, maybe from some people who were there, how weird that is. That would be just. It would honestly be like if Anime Expo was at the convention center, but they decided to put Artist Alley in like a hotel 10 minutes down the freeway.
All I'm gathering from this is anime is garbage.
Yes, anime is garbage. Don't care. I realize saying that somebody who's in charge or running Anime Expo.
It's okay. We're not going.
Yeah, we're not. Well, it doesn't fucking matter. We're ditching AX next year finally, so it's gonna be pretty great. But regardless,
there are other cons that are
let's jump hardcore into our Anime Expo discussion. So you and I only went for one day.
Thank fuck.
And May over here went all 4 days, and we're gonna pull her in so she can tell us her experience with Anime Expo, because she was there on the ground, almost getting her face sprayed with Diet Dr. Pepper. But yeah, I'm so glad they had that at the store, by the way. But no, so so basically, what we saw from Anime Expo, day one, is that people waited 5 hours in line to get in. It was so bad it was on the news.
Yeah, people thought that it was evacuating for the earthquake, but no, it's just waiting in line for AX.
But if they're evacuating, why are they standing there?
Yeah. It's like, why?
Because we'd have to wait another 5 hours if we left the line.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine waiting 10 hours to get into a con?
No, the day would be over.
The day would be over.
Can you imagine I want to imagine the person that got a 1-day badge for 4th of July. You can just set that stuff down. But the person who got a 1-day badge for 4th of July and sat there and because day one was on 4th of July. Yes. So can you imagine someone getting a badge like, hey, I don't have work that day. I work this weekend. I would be able to go on Thursday, on day one. So,
because holiday.
You can go. And them getting there and waiting 5 fucking hours to get in.
Can you imagine that being the case, but with little kids, too?
Oh my god.
Because some people took their kids there.
Yeah, there was,
some people complained about that.
There was someone had posted to Anime Expo talking about, hey, I was here with my kid. We were waiting in line for 3.5 hours, and we had to leave because my kid was hungry.
Yeah.
You know? And when my kid's hungry, I'm going to go feed him because I'm a good parent.
Jesus, LineCon evolved.
Yeah, LineCon really evolved. It reminded me of 2 years ago. Do you want me to scoot over so you can join us, or are you good?
Well, you wanted me to join, so I'm here.
All right, let's go ahead and scoot on down a little bit so the three of us can hang out and have a grand old good time.
But I'm leaving at the end.
You're leaving at the end? Yes. Yeah, we'll address that when we get to it, but yes. Alrighty, so scoot on in, May. For all of our listening party.
There's figures that are looking like they're gonna fall.
I was about to say you're scarring me a little bit.
Well, it's your shit that's falling over.
I know. So May is here. Hello, May. Hi, May is here. Hello. Okay. Oh no, rip. There goes that. But
slightly off.
So that was all the stuff that we were reading about. May, what was your day one experience at Anime Expo?
Well, I managed to actually get in. I had to wait in a long line because we were bad. We went through weapons check.
Oh yeah, you were telling me that was a thing. Yeah.
Brad was talking to me on the phone and said just go to the weapons check, and I just snuck in through, and I didn't have to wait.
That was like the people 2 years ago that if you used the rear entrance from the parking garage, there was no line and you could get in.
Yeah. So basically, I only waited about maybe 15 minutes most.
That's not bad.
But I was originally gonna wait to go till the line sat down because I was hungry and I ate a little bit, and then Chrissy needed her wallet, so
yeah.
I went then, and 15 minutes. So I was still able to
So you didn't have to wait in the 5 hours.
No, but
that's not bad.
Yeah, but I was able to get through there, and I just went to that line, and nobody said anything really. So
yeah.
But my light was pretty good, and then I went inside, and it was nice and cool.
True. Now you did on day 1 get to watch something really cool, and you're really excited about it. You got to go to the premiere for Lord El Malloy II's Case Files. Yes. How was that viewing experience for you?
It was really amazing.
It was really amazing.
I didn't think I was going to go because I was like, I'm probably not going to get in. It's going to be a long line. Nope, I was able to get in. They didn't clear the room, so I watched...
It was a non-clearing,
yeah. So I watched the panel before.
What was the panel before?
It was like...
heads up, we might have lost internet.
Did we lose internet? Well, it's all good because we record these anyway, so regardless.
So it was a panel showing off 3D holograms. You know, like what they use for Miku at Miku Expo?
Oh, yeah,
so
it was
like that because they did like a Phantasy Star concert last year with their idol, because there's an idol girl in there.
Right.
And they were showing off their 3D holograms of like all the idol girls and boys they have, and they were showing how that works. And
that's why you were talking about. That's why you were talking about.
Yeah, my stats I know is very vague, but
that's why you're talking about.
Yeah,
idols.
so they were showing how that worked and whatnot. So it was pretty good, and there were some people that were there. They brought their glow sticks because
I'm not surprised.
The panel after the El Malloy was the Bang Dream one, which is another idol anime.
Of course.
So everyone was there for that. Probably.
Man, it seemed like AX this year was like the year of the idol garbage. Like it really seemed.
AX just needs to be renamed IdolCon because at this point that's all it is.
I would say they ditched any sort of other sort of concerts for just idol trash.
Yeah, they had Aquars this year again to dance
again. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have any song, whatever you calls it.
They didn't. Yeah, it was like was it Annie songs?
World Matsuri.
Yeah,
whatever you call it, I forgot, but
Annie song.
Something blah
so
blah.
IdolCon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it should be called idle and poorly managed con. That's what it should really be called. Did you have any days that were maybe exceptionally bad for the lines at all?
Not lines, but Artist Alley was bad, especially on the last day.
Yeah, we didn't even when Mira and I went. Oh, the holograms, so cool. I always love those.
Yeah. So yeah, Artist Alley was really packed especially on day 4.
We didn't even make it there.
They had enough space between A and B, but the rest was just garbage.
They didn't space it out the rest of the way.
And
that
sucks. It's like, how come you guys spaced A and B out enough to where people get through, but not the rest of them?
Here's what baffles me. You know, we went to WonderCon earlier this year, and their spacing in their exhibitor hall and Artist Alley is fucking perfect because they have wide lanes, so you're able to, even though a lot of people go there, you can breathe, you're able to move about, and it's like you're not cramming people in like fucking sardines. You know, Mira and I didn't even get to go to Artist Alley, which is sad because you were telling me that they had a lot of Critical Role stuff, and I would have loved to see all the Critical Role stuff.
I saw a lot of Caleb Charms, and I was like,
You were saved. You were happy.
I was very happy. I'm like, oh, Caleb. I didn't buy any.
Maybe the next con will have.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Overall, I've noticed that a lot of people. I didn't really see any for campaign 1. I saw mainly.
A lot of people jumped in with campaign 2, which is I think that was the boom in popularity with campaign 2.
So there was a lot of campaign stuff like that.
On top of that, like a lot of people just don't want to jump back.
They look at 115
really
which is they look at 115 episodes that are 3+ hours in length each episode, and they're like 115. No, new campaign starting. I don't have to listen to the first. Awesome, and it's like that's not that they don't want to. It's not that they want to disrespect the old campaign.
It sucks because they're missing out on really good characters.
Campaign 1 was fucking incredible. I'm so happy that I'm going to tell you this though. I bet you when Legend of Vox Machina comes out next year, there's going to be
suddenly everyone's going to be like, "Oh my god, there was another campaign."
There's going to be an uptick in the amount of people cosplaying from campaign 1 again. But I'm willing to bet that there's going to be a big chunk that's like, yeah, I watched the animated series, which I would honestly, there's going to be enthusiasts who
Which is going to be the Briarwoods arc, so I can't complain.
I cannot complain because the Briarwood arc is easily like the best arc that they ever had. Like even new current campaign and old campaign, Briarwood is always going to be my favorite, even though it has the insufferable episode 27. But that's neither here nor there. But after episode literally episode 27 was what made me hate Orion so much.
27 was the shopping episode that went on for way too goddamn long.
The shopping episode and the Tiberius creeping on Vex episode where Travis looked like he was about to beat a motherfucker.
I don't even think it was him creeping on Vex. I think it was just him creeping on Laura.
Regardless, Travis looked like he was about to beat a motherfucker. And I'm like, yeah?
It's like, you don't say shit about my wife right in front of me.
Yeah, it was, oh man.
It's fucking creepy.
I've actually been wanting to look into more about that whole Orion situation because I think his story is very much a cautionary tale, I would say. He was an up-and-coming voice actor. He knew all these well-known voice actors. He was starting to land role after role after role. In 2015, like, I was one of those people, like, man, he is, it's tea. You can go ahead and have some tea. I was like, man, this guy's on a roll. He's hitting it really big, and good for him. He had really good voice talent. Then, like, all of a sudden at the end of 2015, he just disappears. And then when he disappears, there's a lot of people saying, good riddance to you, you fuckhead.
Okay, can we rewind for a second?
Uh-huh.
What does Rob mean by your apparently family's getting their fuck on in October?
With all the July birthdays.
Oh, yeah. He was kind of backwards, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently I found out, like, Orion was doing a bunch of, like, really shitty stuff on the side, too. Like, apparently he stole from, like, fundraisers.
Yeah.
And shit like that, and I'm just like, ew.
Oh, by the way, on TikTok, I see a lot of Critical Role cosplay. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, it's this Orion story. I know we've totally sidetracked from AX, but it's just, it's a crazy thing that, yeah, it's like Orion did a lot of shitty stuff, and it basically was just like, what's sad is that when he came back, he tried to play the victim and say that I was going through a bunch of stuff, and not straight up saying, yeah, I fucked up. And it's like, and the fandom generally agree. I say generally because there are some outliers there. The fandom generally agrees that
general consensus.
The general consensus that Tiberius was the worst part, and which is why we had the conversation when they announced the Legend of Vox Machina. I was actually 100% shocked. Yet, like, I was shocked, but then later on, I guess I wasn't as surprised as I initially was that Tiberius is nowhere to be seen in Legend of Vox Machina.
I had to point out to you, I was like, he didn't really offer much to the Briarwood arc anyway.
Well,
the only real thing that he had was, like, for one, the shopping episode, and then the thing at the dinner, but that was it.
My thing though is with Tiberius, like, apparently he had a lot to do with the pre-streaming of Critical Role stuff, which is why I was shocked, because if they're telling us, because the thing is, Tiberius is in Vox Machina Origins.
Yeah, Origins, but that's a book.
I know, but if they're for the anime thing, like I said, I was surprised that they didn't include, especially because Tiberius doesn't disappear until episode 28, like halfway through. You know, it's like if they were just doing the Briarwood arc, the only thing that really kind of, because my one thing about it is if you're getting rid of Tiberius, you're getting rid of something that was really great about the Briarwood arc, which was that first fight with the Briarwoods when they cast that spell on Tiberius that puts his intelligence to like 0 basically, and was it Feeble Mind or something like that? I don't remember, but
usually Tiberius I kind of block out.
Matt used that as an example of this: you are not going to fuck with us, and it was a really powerful thing that he did with that. And unless in the animated series they transfer that to another person,
but they're not going to cover every little detail.
I know, but that was just
that's why for me it's so easy to write Tiberius out, just because he didn't offer like a main impact to the arc anyway.
I get it. He's
very easily written out.
Right. Regardless, going back to the Anime Expo discussion, I do apologize. So, like I said, all you were saying on Dave, I'm sorry we got super sidetracked on that side tangent, but we didn't get there until day 3. What was your experience with Anime Expo? What did you think the one day that we went?
I want to know what the fuck happened between last year and this year to make it just so shit.
They slept.
They apparently just had a memory lapse like throughout the whole of last year, because last year was pretty good.
Last year was pretty
good. We had a wait, but it was nothing compared to this.
And the sad thing is, like, every time they do something, it happens every year, actually. Like, they'll do something, it's good, they'll go back to the way they were.
It's like they literally sat there and, like, after they finished in 2018, they're like, no, you know what? You know what sounds great? Making it like 2017, which was dog shit. Like, let's do that again. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I I had a personal run-in with an
Also,
event.
staff was just getting way too uppity. In some
Staff
stuff.
was...
They always get uppity though.
Staff? Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
I know
this year in particular, like, I've noticed it got a lot worse.
Here's the thing. Staff has always been dog shit at Anime Expo.
Just this year, it's even worse.
But this year specifically was really fucking bad. Really bad. I'm about to say, I'm not going to name names, but we heard information from someone that apparently one of the issues was they claimed it wasn't AX. It wasn't AX, it was the LAPD that they used. To which I call 100% bullshit because I got pushed around by an AX staff security guard. You know, because the way that they were just standing there. Well, and we tried to cut through because there's no one in the line. I was trying to cut across because we were trying to find the food trucks, and he literally like pushed me out of the way. He says, "You're not allowed to be here. You need to go. You need to leave. You need to go around." It's like, what the fuck do you think I'm trying to do?
Well, also on top of that, the way we were originally trying to go, people were just like stopped and not moving. And so we tried to go around this like I don't know what it was. It was like some sort of. I don't know if it was like a giant plant or if it was a trash can. Yeah. There was some sort of thing in the way, and we're like, okay, no one's moving on this side. We're going to go around because we got to try and get through and like not block traffic. Yeah. And so we tried to go around, and you got pushed and said, hey, you can't come through here.
It's like, what the fuck, man?
It's like, were you
They were allowing people to cut through in the middle of the lines to walk across in the morning, and when there's no one there, you're gonna shove someone and say you can't come through here? Where the fuck were you in the morning?
Well, on top of that, you have no excuse to shove somebody unless they're being some sort of nuisance.
Yeah, we were just trying to get through.
Like, if someone is starting a fight or something, then you have the authority to push somebody. But when they're just trying to walk, you have no reason to touch somebody. Mm-hmm. Especially when you have a crowded area. Yeah. And you have obstacles that people are trying to move around. Yeah. I mean, hell, even in the line to just get in through bag check and everything, we had to, like, I don't know about you, but, I mean, whenever we were walking through on that last part of the line, we had to, like, go down a little bit to avoid a trash can. Yeah. I nearly tripped.
That was... The one thing I didn't like about, one days I cosplayed, so with weapons check, once you got your weapon piece one, you couldn't go to any other line. You had to stay in one line. They would not let you go. They're like, you have to be in this line if you got a prop check. Can't go into any other line. And I'm like, why not?
That's so stupid.
But yeah, it was like that, and then we heard the shit on day one about them taking the ADA line.
Oh my god, yeah, we heard from
Nana.
People
being in the parking garage.
Yeah, we heard from Nana that they got rid of the ADA line. We heard from our friend Lisa, who gets a Premier badge every year, that they lined up all the Premier pass holders in a stuffy fucking parking garage. You know, it's like, way to treat your fans who spent $400 on their Premier badge.
And granted, like, AX wasn't as hot this year as it usually was.
Yeah, but still,
you pack that many bodies in a small area.
It's gonna heat up.
There's no excuse for that.
This happened to me on day 2, like an artist alley. I had to take off most of my stuff. I was a female waiver.
You were dying.
I was dying. You were an artist alley.
Yeah.
Well, even, like, with me being Minato, like, I was already getting warm. I don't know how you survived. You had a fucking jacket on. Like, that shit had, like, fleece inside.
My thing, maybe I've just gone to too many anime exos, is that was nothing compared to wearing Skull last year. Mm-hmm. Like,
nothing to compare, but still.
If you want to be honest, I was more uncomfortable at Ronin Expo this year as Skull than I was as Akihiko at AX.
Akihiko doesn't have that many layers.
The thing is that, like, the jacket looks thick, but it was actually surprisingly thin.
I'm just saying because the material inside was fleece, and it's like...
Let's say it. I'm not going to lie. I was dying when we were waiting in line. Mm-hmm. I think part of what also helped was we got these giant-ass mugs and got free soda all day, so I was able to drink copious amounts of liquids to not... Because I'm willing to bet if I only had, like, a water bottle and I was dying of thirst, that would have been
You would have been so dehydrated.
Mm-hmm. Then I would have really been feeling it, and I would have really been dying, but, yeah. Like, I know we've joked in the past that we're AX cucks, and I was like, oh, we go every year. This was my fucking breaking point. Like, I'm trying to break you so bad, man. I am trying to break you out of that.
This is why I'm saying we should go to RTX.
How was your Instagram break?
I'm still on my Instagram break.
When you were drunk, you posted something on there.
No, I was not on Instagram.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
You did. You posted. You're like, I'm drunk and back. Ask me anything.
Yeah. Okay, so then I did post something. I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know. Well, guess what? Spoiler alert, no one asks shit, so I don't even know what.
They don't ask me anything either, so it's
that's all good. Regardless, I don't know what the fuck I was talking about at this point.
AX cuck, you're trying to break me.
You did, Greg.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to break you out of going to AX every year because
that's why I'm saying we should do RTX or something.
I would say if they have RTX at the same time, like I'm totally down for all of us to go to RTX because I don't hear people complaining about RTX at all.
And also Ruby.
Yeah, they apparently had a lot of cool announcements for Ruby. They have the Discovery.
And if they're only doing 7 or 8 volumes, that means next year might be the last announcement we get.
True.
Wait, what?
Yeah, initially, like I don't know.
7 or 8 volumes.
I
of Ruby,
don't know if I don't know if it's changed, but Monty's original vision was that Ruby was going to be 7 volumes, and then before he had passed, he had said 7 to 8 volumes is what he was looking at.
So if they stick to that, next year might be.
But that also gets confused because there's other times that Monty would talk about it, and he would be like, "Hey, I've got 7 or 8 volumes planned."
Yeah, but if they stick true to Monty's idea,
but if he had 7 to 8 volumes,
they may not go past.
They may have 7 or 8 volumes planned, but he may also have more story after those. He may have had an because he said he had an outline for the story beginning to end, and he said he had 7 to 8 volumes
Monty,
planned.
Miles now.
It's from on to Carrie, Miles, and Gray.
Yeah,
Carrie, Miles, and Gray. Yeah.
I thought Monty said he had 7 or 8 planned. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is he said
this
he had.
This is the thing about Twitch lag.
Twitch lag is a fucking bitch. I hate it. But yeah.
Not that he had an end game. No, Monty pretty much had an idea of how he wanted it to end. He just had notes.
It was explained at the time of his passing, because Gray was on the podcast when they talked about Monty, and one of the things Gray said about Ruby's is just like he didn't have the full. He's like he had the general idea for the complete story of Ruby done, and he had like 7 or 8 volumes planned. So that's why Team Ruby is like, we're not concerned with him not finishing a story. It was just more of he's now not going to be able to create new stories, because that's how overactive his thought process was. Is he wanted everything planned out immediately, because that's how he was. If project he worked on, he wanted to know what he was working towards at the end, so that way he could be like, all right, cool, what's the next thing? It's one of those things where if they're still sticking with that, then next year could be the announcement for the final volume. But if the story's got more to it, regardless, there's still Ruby announcements, so they're good to go. One of the big things that was announced right before RTX, though, was the replacement voice actor for Crow, which is Jason Liebrecht, which that is actually a pretty good choice. He's done. I mean, he's currently Dobby in My Hero. He's voiced a lot of deeper, gruffer characters in the past, so it's like that's going to be a really. I'm really excited to see his take on Crow. So
I am 1,000% on board.
I absolutely, yeah. To which that also reignited some of the I Stand With Vic people and people who apparently had no idea what was going on with it. And
I mean, they're never going to go away.
Reigniting some of the arguments on both sides and stuff like that. And then, which is funny that all that was coming out around the same time that the news articles are coming out that Funimation's filed a motion a motion to dismiss Vic Mignogna's legal lawsuit
against Funimation.
Yeah, which in turn would probably end the his lawsuits against. Well, I don't know how that would affect the Monica Rial and her significant other's lawsuit, and then Jamie Marquis' lawsuit.
That might be slightly different
because those are individuals. Funimation's a company. Yeah.
Well, because he was claiming he was an employee of Funimation. So
to which Funimation immediately said, "Our employees work for Funimation and Funimation only. Vic Mignogna was never an employee. He's contracted just like every other voice actor in the industry." And he was like, the way that they clapped back was all like, if he knew what he was, which he should have, then that's basically, that he would know.
If he didn't know, that just basically means he didn't read his contract.
Basically, he didn't understand what it meant to be a voice actor, because voice actors are contract employees. That's why they're able to work at Funimation with Viz Media on a Bang Zoom project and then work for video game companies. Some of them are on union, some of them are non-union. Then that gets into a whole different thing. But they're contract employees.
But unless you own your own studio, you're not an employee of them. You're essentially freelance.
And the thing too is that if you were an employee of Funimation, you would only be working at Funimation. You didn't see, for example, back when Justin Rojas worked for Funimation, he wasn't also doing social media stuff for Viz Media or Crunchyroll. No, he was an employee of Funimation and only worked at Funimation. That's not how that worked. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to file to dismiss that, and that happened. All those announcements and all that shit was going on around the same time. So it was one of those things where I'm pleased. What about you? What do you think about the casting of Jason Liebrick for Crow? Good choice.
Yeah, I've heard his work. I like it.
Jason Liebrick's a good voice actor. Talented dude.
I'm sure that he'll be pointed in the right direction and be able to give his take on Crow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So regardless, I'm done with Anime Expo. I'm not gonna be going back. I'm not gonna be going back.
I can't tell you, baby, come back.
No, it's not gonna work this time.
Yep, that's it. We're done.
I am basically, I'm breaking up and we're not getting back together again.
Yep. You're not getting abused anymore.
I'm not. I'm getting out of this abusive.
You're finally leaving.
Getting out of this abusive relationship and living for myself.
I want to break free.
Yeah, right. But Mira, you've already made your point clear. You're not going back. No more LimeCon. You're not going back. I'm not going back. May, what's your general feel about Anime Expo? And
I had a good time. I actually enjoyed myself, even though lines were long. But other than the day one, I enjoyed myself. I got to see all the stuff, got to take pictures, see all the cosplayers, and
I get you.
Eat good food.
Although that Okamoto kitchen line was fucking
insane.
Horrible. Yeah. That was bad.
Yeah, but I really did enjoy myself. It was not that bad of heat.
Shout out to Brad.
Yeah, shout out to Brad for standing in that line for over 2 hours to get everyone
food.
Brad, we give Brad shit from time to time, but he is the truest MVP.
I told him, I said, Brad, you're the real MVP.
He really was. We were all hungry, and he's like, I'll wait in line. Yeah. And he waited for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. I'm like, damn.
Thankfully, his cosplay was super comfy.
Thank God, yeah.
He wasn't in armor or some shit.
Oh my God, I don't want to imagine the people who were in armor and all that fun shit.
Waiting for 2 hours in the sun.
Yep.
I'm moving these two around just because since we're on the topic of AX and anime in general. Despite our feelings about Anime Expo in general, there were some cool things that we did get to see.
I saw cute Evangelion alpacas.
Oh really? Oh, did they actually have Ava alpacas? Yeah. Oh no shit.
You could pre-order them. They're very cute. The one I wanted was $90-something and it came with a tent for the house.
Oh,
that's where I lived in the tent, the nerve headquarters. It was a tent.
The nerve,
yes.
The nerve.
Yeah, the one had a horn on it. It was really cute, and I wanted it, but I was I don't have $90-something.
I know.
Unless it was all mine, then you would drop it.
Yeah, like I did with the other thing.
That fucking that's his best outfit. Is that pinstripe suit? It's his best outfit. It really is his best. It's his best outfit.
No, it's ugly.
He wears it with pride.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Deku looks up to him.
Just like Deku.
Absolutely. But no, we did get to see some cool stuff.
Deku's my mom likes my fashion sense.
My mom thinks I'm cool.
Yeah, right. Deku's literally the definition of my mom thinks I'm cool.
Mm-hmm. My mom said I look nice.
Yeah.
And she knows her stuff. Anyway,
exactly.
So we get to see some cool stuff. We went to the Crunchyroll panel, which there were some cool things. There's an anime we're going to be checking out called what's it called? To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts, which looks
that's what the bar dudes.
I'm also going to sit down and watch Fire Force.
Okay, now that I finally had that full trailer for Fire Force, I had no idea the creator of Soul Eater was attached to it.
Yep.
I had no clue that was what they were doing. But now that I know, and they kind of put that little twist at the end of that trailer, I was like, okay, I'm interested in this now, and I want to check it out. Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park rolled through to show the project he's working on with Crunchyroll, which is an animated video for his song Worlds on Fire. which
looks cute.
Really fucking great. I wonder if
the character designs look so cute.
I wonder if he understands that he's gonna have something happen to him that happened with like after Porter Robinson and Madeon did Shelter, that people are gonna after the video, because there will be people who cosplay.
There's people that are probably already getting
there are people that are probably like, thank you Mike Shinoda for giving us the cosplay references already.
Is it out like on YouTube?
The video's coming out.
He gave a preview.
He gave a preview.
When is it coming out?
End of summer.
Gotta wait. Damn it.
Yeah.
Not too long.
Well, end of summer could be like September.
I know. It could be
September.
September.
But it's almost like getting to the middle.
I know, but
it's already like the middle of July.
You know when you really want to see something really super bad
Yeah.
and you're impatient? That's me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, oh my god.
But the thing is, I mean, they've been working on it for a while already.
I know, but
we're not gonna have too long.
Here.
Mira, my brother, says hi.
Well,
oh, hi, Chris.
You guys said people want to cosplay it, so I'm curious now.
He has the reference photos for the
characters
in the video.
Like online?
Yeah. Let me bring it up. Yeah.
He showed them at the panel.
Yeah. Well, he was showing the concept design. And he showed like a 30-second clip of it. Yeah.
These designs. I want to know.
Yeah, I'll bring it up on Twitter for you.
Type World's on Fire.
Yeah, because it's just gonna
go to images.
I'm going to his Twitter. That's what that's
Twatter.
It's Twatter, yeah, because I know he was posting a bunch of stuff about it. There's one of the images. Yeah, there's a shot from there.
Oh, I want to be that little kid, totally.
Yeah, that's
the
chick.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, that's the other photos were at the Crunchyroll panel.
Okay.
But that's
there was like a little 30-second preview of what the video is going to be.
But yeah, that's kind of the.
okay, well, tides me over then.
It's so cute though.
It's actually really
cute.
his
bear looks like he's a Super Saiyan.
It really does.
Yeah. He's got like a glove on his hand too.
Yeah, it's actually really cool.
Like I noticed the glove on the girl. I didn't notice the.
Basically he was talking about how like when he was growing up he would draw influences from video games, and so that's why the chick looks like Mega Man with the little cannon. I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. But yeah, it's cute art.
The fact that he said he's a fan of Akira made me go, dude.
Yeah, I was like, and then when he was at AX, he was freaking out about the 40th anniversary of Gundam.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite parts of that panel though was when Mike Shinoda was talking about how people would make AMVs with Linkin Park music. And how he said his favorites they would see were either the DBZ or Naruto ones. And it's like...
No, his favorite were the Naruto.
His favorite were the Naruto ones, but he was like, yeah, people are putting our songs to DBZ. Like, this is crazy. That I guess the band would watch them, like, a lot.
And then he was, like, looking at the crowd. He's like, have any of you made these AMVs?
Did anyone in the crowd make any of these? And there were quite a few people that raised their hand. He's like... Dude, that's awesome! Like, he was, like...
It's like, I love you guys.
Yeah, it was like, that was so cool that, like... that was always one of the memes. It's like, oh, I hope my Bleach Linkin Park AMV makes it to the AMV contest, right? But it's like, the fact that, like, the band knew about it since the beginning when people started doing that is so cool. That was actually really funny to hear. But that was really cool. Getting to run into Phil Mizuno is always a fucking treat.
Seeing Leon.
He's a sweetie.
Seeing Leon Chero was awesome.
Thanks for the tag, by the way, Mira. On Twitter, on Instagram, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
She tagged me because I said...
I was like, May pointed out, is that Leon?
I'm like, oh, it's Leon. Because I had seen him earlier that day, signing. And I was like, oh, he's Dio today.
Yeah. That was.
But thanks for the tag.
She was like, is that Leon? I think he was cosplaying JoJo today.
Yeah, like, cool. That really inflated my ego. It was good for the boost.
It was good ego boost on your part, absolutely.
But yeah.
I think that's one of my top posts on my cosplay page.
Same with mine, yeah. It was really cool. And then
that was unplanned.
That was unplanned, but that was fucking awesome. And then I'm blanking on his name right now, but I got to chat with another one of the cosplay senpais this year.
That dude.
Oh yeah.
That one dude.
I'm blanking on his name.
I never followed him, so I didn't know.
I'm blanking on his name.
Started with an H, I think.
Didn't it?
Mm-hmm. What's up?
Didn't it start with an H?
No, it started with a J.
Handle? Oh.
His handle started with a J, but
I'm helping you out.
Oh, you're approaching me?
Oh boy. The JoJo memes begin.
Oh, that's right. She watches JoJo.
Yeah. I don't think any of us at this table have watched any of it. Jihatsu, yeah. Jihatsu.
He was Shishomaru.
Yeah, I followed him because there was someone, I think they posted one of his photos as a Man Crush Monday post. And I was like, oh, like, I'm not the biggest fan of Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, if anyone knows me at all. But I saw his Sephiroth. I'm like, that actually looks really cool. And I saw that he did Shishomaru. I'm like, I am immediately following you. And he does a bunch of stuff on his stories, like when he goes works out and stuff like that. And apparently people give him shit about it all the time. When all he has to keep reiterating, it's like, I'm doing this to motivate people. Like, chill the fuck out. I was like, so chatting with him about that is like, well, I'm glad you get it. Like, that's really cool. It was super chill to chat with.
Speaking of cosplay senpai, I was a little nervous with Phil. I mean, I've already met him before, but like, he was taking pictures and we were chatting, and I noticed his choker was upside down.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, Phil, I don't know if you know, but your choker's upside down.
And he's like, oh my god, thank you. And he grabs it and
I was afraid he was gonna be like, ah shit, or get like super upset about it, and then he's just like, oh my god, thank you.
It's like, thank you, you're a lifesaver. He's like, yeah, I would look at photos later on and be like, are you kidding me right now?
He's like, I wondered why that wasn't fitting right this morning. And I was just like, oh my god, he's not mad.
Well, if anything,
it's Phil.
He's also Canadian. I don't know if this is a stereotype. I hope
it is a stereotype. The Canadians are generally just super nice. Yeah.
And I'm trying not to be stereotypical, but I know a lot of Canadians are very nice. And Phil is like one of those guys. He's very sweet. So if you tell him that, he'll be like, oh, okay.
It's one of those things for me that like yes, it's a stereotype, but I just think like people that are raised in Canada, like the values that people raise their families in, like in Canada, with it in infinitely better government and economy. At least they should be. Yeah, infinitely better economy. And well, I should say infinitely better per se, but it's like better than America. I'm sorry. It's an improvement. Yeah, it's an improvement over the shithole that we have right now. It allows them to just raise genuinely caring people.
It's like our friend Ko is like, when she hears shit about what's going on over here, she's just like, are you all okay over there? She's had times where she's just like, I'm genuinely scared for you guys.
Yeah.
Are you all okay?
Yeah.
Canadians are very caring.
They are.
Especially with international
At least the ones they know.
Phil is a sweetie. I figured that's good you told him, because he would have never known.
Oh yeah, because I made the joke later. It's like, yeah, you would have done a pro shoot and you would have looked afterwards and be like, are you kidding me? The choker's upside down.
Yeah. Well, especially because like with him being Bakugo and he had the choker that said Bakugo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like there was lettering on it and it was upside down.
Chatting with him about when he was at Funimation, like he was so excited.
Oh yeah.
He got to go. It was like he was super.
And you also found out he played 14.
Oh yeah. Apparently back in the day he used to play 14 and. Because I was like, yeah, it's like I would go home.
About Shadowbringers.
Talking about Shadowbringers, he was just like, yeah, it's like I haven't played it in a couple years because I've been so busy, but like I remember playing for a while, and he's like, yeah, 14 was one of the better MMOs I played, and I loved it. And he's like, with all the Shadowbringer stuff, I'm like, I want time to play again, but he's like, I don't know if I have the time to play again, but I would love to play again. I'm just like, dude,
so busy with cosplay stuff.
Yeah, well, when I asked how he's been, I was like, it's been a while. How have you been? And just like, I've been busy but good. I was like, yeah, he's been going a lot of different places.
I was gonna say he was at AX, and then the weekend after that, he went to TnT.
Oh, he went to Tokyo and Tulsa. That's right. Yeah,
that's where he was this weekend.
Oh man, yeah, you gotta. It's a busy. He's had a busy like year and a half. Which, I mean, good for him because he's worked his fucking ass off. And then you got people like Leon Chero that, like, I've been following him for, like, 5 years at this point. It's like, I remember when he had to take a break because him and his fiance at the time broke up.
I remember that.
And he's like, I need to reevaluate what I'm doing and where I'm at. And then he came back and he's just like, I'm back. I'm here for good. He came back, like, revitalized. And it's just like, after that point, like, he's just taken the fuck off, man. That was cool.
See, he's also taking off his clothes.
He's also taking off his clothes as well. Very true.
Like, by the time I found him, it was when he was like in the peak of the Gladio cosplay.
Yeah, that was
when
I think Gladio was like. See, I don't want to say one of his first. Gladio in recent memory was one of the first, I think, cosplays that I think went viral for him.
Yeah, because he did it around when 15, I think.
Yeah. When 15 was coming out, and he had the body that looked just like Gladio.
Everyone like, oh my god.
All the people were freaking
Canon
out.
Gladio.
So many people said Canon Gladio, and then it continued from there.
And of course, now he did All Might.
He did All Might. Yeah, All Might was what solidified it for a lot of people. People were like,
I miss him being All Might.
Did you see he posted?
He posted one. Yeah, he posted a picture of All Might today.
No, but I mean at cons.
Oh, at cons. Oh yeah. But yeah, he did. He posted a picture of him as All Might today.
Dude, his time lapses of him trying to do the All Might makeup.
I bet that's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Well, with him specifically doing that cell shading.
Can you believe that there are people that accuse him of blackfacing when he's done that?
Oh
to which I literally look at people that say that, I'm like, do you not understand what cell shading is? By that token standard, every single Borderlands cosplayer is racist.
Oh
yeah,
because they do the cell shading for their cosplays.
I think part of the reason they associate that was because they accused him of that in the past when he intentionally like tanned his skin. I think for like Assassin's Creed. He did it for an
Assassin's Creed cosplay way back in the day.
Which even he came out and said it's like blackface doesn't have the same connotation as it does
it's
in
like,
Italy.
We don't have this history.
Yeah.
And it's to which he apologized for. But it's kind of not. I don't want to say that to forgive people for doing it, but it's like
understand that different countries have different values for certain things.
There could be one country that sits there and like there's no issue with it because there's no connotation of it. But you come to America where there's been when blackface was basically I'm making fun of an African American because they're dumb and stupid and basically act like apes, which is how they thought back in the day. But it's like, we have a different context for it, and which is why it's so offensive.
Yeah.
Justifiably offensive, because that's really fucked up, if you color your skin and you say it's okay. It's like, no, don't fucking do that.
But it's like, at the same time, you can't hold someone from a different country at the same value as you do in your own.
But the thing is, you can educate them. You can let them know that, hey, this is actually really offensive to a big portion of your audience from America.
Which, there was a cosplayer that Christine had shared, I think, at one point, like, I think in the past month or something. They had photos of, like, a cosplay that they did where they went blackface intentionally because they were doing Falcon from Marvel.
Oh my fucking god.
And with him being a black character. And
he colored his skin black.
Well, because this cosplayer is Asian. So he decided that he wanted to be 100% accurate, so he darkened his face. And there's photos of it. He posted it. He's like, yeah, I know this came from like a dark time in my cosplay period, but I want to show that, this actually happened. And my friends took me aside, made me wipe that shit off, and told me why I shouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but he thought it was the only way to be 100% true to the character was to make his skin look like the character.
But in all honesty, skin color doesn't fucking matter if you're cosplaying. If you're a lighter skinned person who wants to cosplay a darker skinned person, just cosplay the character. If you're a darker skinned person who wants to cosplay a lighter skinned person, that doesn't matter. If you're cosplaying the character, you're cosplaying the character, and by all intents and purposes,
have fun with the character.
Have fun with the character. I was angry. There was a really good Goro Majima that we saw at the exhibitors hall. He was on the phone, unfortunately, but he was an African American dude, and he had his dreads done a special way for it. Like, he had it, like, I think some were partially up and some were hanging down. He looked fucking awesome. I was like, he killed it and looked awesome, and I was like, man, I wish I could get, but he was on the phone, so I'm just like, I'm not about to bug a dude who's on the phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the good things about AX, I would say, and the tangents that have come from that. But since we're in the realm of talking about controversies, let's talk about something that we didn't get to talk about on the last podcast because we played Dungeons and Dragons instead, and that is Neon Genesis Evangelion coming to Netflix.
Shout out to the cosplayers who did Kaoru and Shinji and got those subtitles and taped it on, or they.
Oh yeah,
they really did.
Yeah,
well, okay. What it was is, May and I were waiting for you guys because you took Crystal and Brad and Suya over to get the mugs.
Oh yeah.
And while we were waiting on you guys, May and I saw the Kaoru and Shinji.
Yeah, they had the safety pin paper on there. It says, Kaoru says I was worthy of his grace, and it means I like you. And I was like, shout out to those cosplayers.
That's fucking hilarious. So, yeah, Netflix
fucked up their subtitles.
They fucked up a lot.
It's actually, a lot of...
According to Netflix, Kaoru is not gay anymore.
Yeah, so we're gonna get into all this stuff.
Which is bullshit.
We're gonna get into all the stuff that happened with this. So, people were already concerned about Netflix taking Evangelion because immediately and we've talked about this in the past, that the original cast wasn't even considered for the redub.
Or the rumor that, like, a few members came and auditioned, but their tapes were thrown out.
But their tapes were immediately thrown out.
Which we don't know if that got confirmed.
Which I don't think no one's going to be able to actually confirm.
Say Netflix says it was too expensive.
We're gonna get to that. So,
I didn't even see that until
Evangelion is regardless of if you like it or not, Evangelion is a classic anime. It was basically
whether you got through it or not, it's
whether
a
you got
classic.
through it, it is a renown. Neither did I. I had a friend who swore by Evangelion, and she wrote a philosophy paper on it. That's how deep in the rabbit hole some fans get. Mm-hmm. And then people like Crispin Freeman talk about.
Yeah, he used to do lectures on Evangelion.
On Evangelion, yeah.
Which I mean, like the subject material is pretty deep, like for all intents and purposes.
What you got a problem with deepness?
Well, no, I'm saying just like I understand why people would hold it that high because I mean the subject itself is pretty deep. Like the actual context of the show.
Yes, please.
Is really deep. I can understand why people.
It's just the show.
Length.
Sorry, not sorry.
But the pacing is
the show.
Goddamn
Evangelion
slow.
suffers for some of the worst pacing I've ever seen.
Like the movies help.
It is the rebuild. The rebuilds of Evangelion are how I've been able to get through the story of Eva.
No, I'm doing the thing again.
Well, let's say, do you want to use it to clip it off so you don't do it?
The story of Evangelion is, I would argue, so much better in the rebuilds because they cut out all the bullshit and the stuff that made it boring.
Yeah.
You know, they really, I'm going to throw this away real quick, but they really, I'll just set that in there and then we'll throw that out.
They took out what made it really slow.
They took out all that made it really slow, and we're still waiting on 4.0.
The movie's supposed to come out next year.
It's supposed to come out next year.
Come out next year.
Yeah, but that's not what we got. So
I'll believe it when I see it.
This is from the IGN article explaining why
Funimation proved me wrong, so I believe now.
Funimation, you believe.
We just gotta wait for that DVD.
What was it I was telling you when 3.33 was coming out? I was like, May, what did Parappa the Rapper tell you? You gotta believe. You just gotta believe. Yep.
I do believe.
I do believe. So, this is from the IGN article that details all the stuff that people are upset about.
Things have been changed.
A lot of things have been changed in Evangelions. Number one was the whole redub, which that's already one of the things there. And we've talked about that in the past. I
just read the third.
Yeah, the third. I'm going to read that part of the article specifically. Fly Me to the Moon, the ending of the ending for not because if you say end of Evangelion, that's actually a thing, the end of Evangelion. But the ending song, Fly Me to the Moon,
which is a Frank Sinatra song.
Which was a Frank Sinatra song. They did in the 90s there was a cover that was done that they used at the end. Netflix just didn't put it in the fucking show.
Because they're too fucking poor.
How are they... Mira and I are going to talk about Stranger Things at the end of the podcast. They have dumped so much money. Like, Stranger Things looked like it had the budget of Game of Thrones in Season 3.
Basically, they were too poor to get the original voice cast, so they went and took out Fly Me to the Moon.
Here's the thing. The problem with Netflix... They're budgeting in the wrong places.
They really are, yeah.
This is why they have that whole, we couldn't afford it, because they're putting their budget in the wrong spots.
Yeah.
But yet, here I'm reading the article, says it's worth noting that the song is still in the re-releases in other countries like Japan.
That's so stupid.
Japan got
Japan gets Fly Me to the Moon.
Got it. We did it because they're too poor.
We did it, let me guess, because it was a Frank Sinatra song originally.
We're too poor. We can't afford this shit.
But Japan can afford it.
Yeah, Japan can afford it.
I love that it says Netflix's version of Evangelion doesn't feature the iconic cover of Frank Sinatra's "Fly Me to the Moon" that played during the end credits of the original show. The song has been long synonymous with the show, but now it has been replaced with a plunky, dramatic piano piece. That's just like running all episodes of Friends without the opening theme song. Netflix, it's just not the same. Yeah, I know. You have to do the. Yeah, it's like. I'm tired of these earthquakes. All I'm getting from this is anime is bad.
We'll talk earthquakes in a little bit.
Because Robot actually was really in the middle of it. So they got rid of Fly Me to the Moon. We've talked extensively about the redub. They don't know how to say the word nerve at all. Let me just read this one. Let's start with a small one. While the government organization NERV was always pronounced nerve in the original dub in the Netflix version, it's sometimes said differently. No one can seem to make up their minds whether it's nerve or nerve.
Nerve. Characters will say either way throughout the whole show. Is anyone getting flashbacks of the whole Aang versus Ong debacle and M. Night Shyamalan's Last Airbender?
Or no, it's like the Detroit Become Human thing all over again. You can't figure out if her name is Kara or Kara. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, this one.
The Netflix version of Evangelion has removed all cursing. The original Japanese version of Evangelion didn't necessarily have cursing because of the stark differences between the English language. Curse words were added to the original English version to get better across the intention of the dialogue. Those curse words have been taken out in the Netflix version, resulting in those moments feeling dramatically different. On this note, Shinji no longer says, "I'm so fucked up." The iconic line has been changed to the literal translation of, "I'm the lowest of the low."
Do you know what scene he says that in?
After he masturbates over Asuka's body.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, because I know Romano hasn't seen this show.
It's so old though. Like,
yeah, but she's kind of late to the game on some anime, so it's just like,
I'm sorry, we spoiled.
Robot even went clap, 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 clap with friends.
We didn't tell
They're
her
under Robot's feet. Is it getting
on your nerve?
We didn't tell her. We didn't tell her when it happened or anything like that. We didn't give any other context.
What
just
the fuck?
Saying that out of context.
Wait, what about masturbating over a body?
Yeah.
Nothing. Robert.
And the biggest one.
What does it say? Warning, a few spoilers ahead.
This one is actually really big spoilers. Kaoru is no longer gay,
which is a shame because he is supposed to be gay.
Here's the thing. It would be one thing if they took something out that seemed like subtle subtext. But the meme exists for a reason. Let's get one thing straight. I'm not. Because he made it very clear in the original version that he very much hella gay for Shinji, and it helped him finally feel that kind of love for the first time. It was really important to Shinji's character growth.
Kaoru, you have better taste than this.
I know.
Shinji was fucked up, but that was a pivotal moment in Shinji's character development.
Yes.
So why would you change that? That just erases it all.
It erases so much
because
of why Kaoru's death is so tragic.
That gay couples are a thing.
Yeah.
Save them. Protect the children.
Netflix only want... Okay, you know what? No. Okay, I can't talk about it yet, but there was something in Stranger...
I say that as sarcasm.
No. I know I say that, but it's like... There is that joke, but what frustrates me is Netflix pulls shit like this, but there is a key character that has a big old reveal in Stranger Things 3 that was so well done.
Here's the reason. Stranger Things is marketed to adults. Evangelion, for all intents and purposes, Netflix is going to see this as, it's anime. Kids can probably watch this too.
Yeah, Netflix did Devilman Crybaby too.
Regardless, it's
just the way they market shit. Yeah. They know that kids are drawn to animated things. While smaller,
I'm just gonna read this straight from the IGN article. While smaller changes can be overlooked, the biggest change that has the fans outraged is the erasure of the gay romance between Shinji and Kaoru, which forms the crux of an arguably the most pivotal emotional moment of the entire series that has a profound effects on the outcome of the story. Fans have cited how specific words were changed from Netflix translation. And the Netflix translation from the original, altering the impact of Kaoru and Shinji's critical meaning. Twitter user at Mioshins tweeted out these images for comparison. You can see Kaoru originally tells Shinji at one point that he's worthy of love, and that gets changed to worthy of grace.
Which is not the
And instead of Kaoru saying he loves Shinji, he now says he likes Shinji. These changes left some fans feeling slighted. It's a couple words, but they believe that it diminishes their relationship. While their romance is never explicitly shown, the consensus has long been that Kaoru a love interest, not a confidant or a friend.
My next paragraph.
Yeah.
Translator.
Yeah.
Nope.
The original words inferred so much, adding a more complexity to an already intricate story. This anime was lauded when it came out and still is today because it confronted so many taboo topics. Mental health, sexuality, especially when it comes to teens. Netflix's changes cast Kaoru and Shinji's relationship in a new light, inconsistent with the original version, which is why fans say it significantly changes the impact that the scene has of that scene in the narrative overall. Translator Dan Kanemitsu responded to a fan questioning the controversial changes, saying he tried his best to stay faithful to the source material, and he made those changes because he wanted the audience to pick up on what was happening between the two.
It's one thing for a character to confess their love. It's quite another for the audience to infer affection and leave them guessing. How committed are the characters? What possible misunderstandings might be taking place? Leaving room for interpretation makes it exciting. Yeah, that was what this...
So basically what he's saying is they have to be straight up fucking for us to be like, oh yeah, they're gay.
Fans of Evangelion criticizing the change.
Your desire to make something exciting completely erases the nature of this exchange.
They pretty much all are ripping in.
There should have been no leaving room for interpretation when for years people have been trying to erase the queerness of Shinji and Kaoru's love. It is a pivotal moment in Shinji's development because this is the first time anyone has ever said, I love you to him. That's the fucking point. That is... Oh my god, I'm getting angry about this.
When his own father won't say, I love you.
And his mom... I don't want to say that.
Just say it. It's
because Romana's watching it. It's about...
Is she even watching it at this point?
That's why I don't want to say it.
I don't know for sure.
Okay, because and Shinji's mom dies before, I think, like, when he was born.
I would assume that's probably just, like... it's probably just something she could infer regardless, just because...
Just watch the only good anime, Cory in the House, or Ghost Stories.
Ghost Stories
is gold.
We watched King of the Hill when we were getting ready at X.
Oh, good. There you go. You said you watched that in South Park too,
yes.
right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, not happy with the changes. Some fans just don't watch it on there, which is me.
Yeah, same.
Yep, was so excited.
A few minutes into your stuff, felt something was off. New voice cast. Okay, I can deal with that. No Fly by the Moon. Disappointment. Critical line changes. Time to dig up my DVDs.
Yep.
Yeah, so that...
Can you imagine the shit that would happen if they somehow acquired the movies?
That's why
Funimation has those. I don't care about spoilers for this anime. I know some things about it from my hobby.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
Honestly, because Funimation has the rights to the movie,
they're
not going to let it go, especially not to Netflix.
Their former CEO, Gen Fukunaga, when he found out that Netflix got it, he was the first one to like take to the internet and say Netflix is going to ruin this. And he straight up said...
what did they do?
He straight up said, like, we would have handled this with care. We've already handled Evangelion in the past, you know? There may have been some recastings in the redubs for Evangelion, but they at least brought back people like Tiffany Grant and Spike Spencer, who were, like that gave them a renewed, like, because they were, like, OGs back in, like, the 90s when it came to dubbing. That put them back in the spotlight for a while, because people were like, oh, Spike Spencer and Tiffany Grant are back in this? Fuck yes, let's go.
I realized Rob... Okay, so context, Rob, for that scene. So, there's a scene in Evangelion where one of the girls, she's comatose. I don't remember why she was comatose.
Something happened, she was comatose,
and while she was comatose, Shinji, the main character, goes in her room, sees her, and starts masturbating in her room, and then once he finishes, he's looking at his hand.
Hulu should have taken it.
Yeah,
he looks at his hand with his cum on there, and he goes, "I'm so fucked up."
Yes.
So if there's one guy and 4 hookers, how many years in prison?
What?
I don't know what's going on.
Is this supposed to be a joke?
I have no idea.
I think he's just sidetracking.
He's probably sidetracking.
But regardless, Netflix is shit with Evangelion, and
which is a shame because there are some people in this cast of the redub that like were so excited
Ray
about
Chase
it.
is in it. Yeah.
He's Gendo.
He's Gendo, yeah. The context doesn't help.
But it's like it's a shame because like some of these people either they
some of these people are breaking into the voice acting with it
like,
too.
Some of these people watching Evangelion back in the day and got so excited over it, and it's like this is a dream role for me, and like for this to be the outcome of it.
Unfortunately, there's just as a
and it's not the voice actor's fault.
No. I'm just saying it's a goddamn shame.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. You're gonna get those roles that you're gonna take over, and people are just not gonna like it.
It's sad. It's sad
unfortunate, but that's unfortunate. That's how you deal with criticism.
I went back to Ghost Stories. That's what happened. Oh,
yeah.
So the thing for me is, like I feel so bad for those voice actors because you know that they're gonna get destroyed by fans if they ever go to a convention, even though it's not their fault at all.
Most of my anime I watch now, if not on Crunchyroll, is Hulu.
Yeah,
because Hulu has My Hero. That's how she watches.
That's how she watches.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I do Funimation.
Yeah, I've got Funimation.
I think they have the.
Oh yeah,
I think they have the dub on Hulu now too.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
If you haven't, you got to renew it in October.
Well, the thing is that it renews monthly.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it's good. Yeah. I keep Funimation even on like with my lack of watching anime this year, I'd still...
Do you still have Rooster Teeth first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He's never giving that
I'm never
up.
giving that up because $10 every 6 months, I'm still at the super reduced rate. I got grandfathered in because I was a sponsor for Rooster Teeth a long time ago.
Was a Wednesday.
I want to say around the time I got back into like Red vs. Blue, and around the time Ruby was Ruby had been announced but it hadn't started yet.
Oh, yeah.
I finally was like, you know what? I think it's about time. I'm starting to work a job. I'll pay the $10.
Yeah,
so I'm grandfathered in. I'm grandfathered in, and they keep the price.
Regardless, Evangelion on Netflix is shit.
It's garbage.
If my morals weren't, if I had better morals, or not better morals, however you want to say it, I would give it a 1. But I feel like that's shitty because I haven't seen it, and I don't think I should be doing that.
Yeah. We don't have to see it to know.
Yeah.
Rob just does totally legal anime watching.
Well, because it's like if we want to watch Evangelion, we'll just for the people that watched the anime and loved it, they'll go back to their old DVDs. If they didn't like the anime, they'll go to the movies.
I'll rewatch the movies.
I'll watch the movies.
Which you own all 3 of them.
No,
right?
I only own the first one.
I have all 3.
You have all 3. I was like, one of you has all 3 of them.
I never owned it. I only
the
owned
first
the first
2
one.
I found like someone was selling theirs on Facebook for cheap, and I grabbed them.
I owned the first one
the third one
because back in the day I wanted to give it a chance, and I bought it and liked it. And
I remember we ended up watching the first one together because we were just like, hopefully it's good. But anyway, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna fast fire a couple of these topics, and then we're gonna send you on your way as we get to talk about Stranger Things. Totally spoiler discussion of Stranger Things. You got to experience your first earthquake. How was that?
I was asleep for my actual first earthquake.
But the one that you actually were cognizant and awake for
was during Stranger Things.
It was during watching Stranger Things, which was really funny.
Ironically.
Yeah, those rolling earthquakes, those were bad. How did the earthquakes feel at AS?
So the first one that I felt, I was in the bathroom, and
oh god,
when it started, I thought I was getting nauseous because that's what happens to me when I don't feel well. My head gets dizzy and I feel like I'm tilting, like I'm moving around. I have to sit down. So I thought first I was getting nauseous, but then I realized, like I heard them in the room saying, "Oh my god, it's an earthquake!" So I actually went to the door frame and I held the door frame just in case. Yeah. Because even though I realized the door that shut is a glass door.
Oh yeah.
So I was partially safe for myself, but
it's still better than being.
Yeah, but I remembered. Oh yeah, hold the door frame. You know, if you're an earthquake. Yeah. But otherwise, that's what I thought. I thought I was having nauseous, and then when it finished, I was like, "Oh, it's an earthquake." And then the second one, we didn't feel it because we were walking to dinner.
Oh yeah.
In the LA streets.
We were.
It's so funny you talk about being in the bathroom because I'm sitting there like with tornadoes back in Missouri. Like we lived in a trailer, so we didn't have like a basement to go into. So they say like the next best thing for us should be go into the bathroom. So that's where we had to go.
Right. Yeah. My big thing, so the first one, I was like waking up and I needed to use a restroom, and like I felt things shake hardcore, and I'm like, that had to be an earthquake, and that was an earthquake. And then the second one, we were watching Stranger Things, and then I
sitting down and eating.
The candle on the table it was close to the edge.
Would you have caught it if it fell? Or try to?
By the point that
Rob was too busy shitting his pants.
Oh,
to grab
he was close to it.
He was. Robit was 11 miles away from both.
Robit, as I call him. Robit, his name is Robit.
He was 11 miles away from both earthquakes, which that's insane.
That's crazy.
But with the candle, if it had fallen, because after a certain point we went to the door frame over by our room.
Oh, you would just let it fall.
Yeah.
You crawl in the tub if you live in a house with no basement. Yep.
But it's one of those things where the candle would have.
Well, I'd rather you guys be safe than over a candle.
Honestly, if a candle breaks, a candle breaks. That's fine.
Because the thing is like we were just like we were expecting it to be over real quick, so we're just watching it and we're just like, oh okay. And
then it kept going, and I was like, come on, let's go. Let's go.
I realize though, most people, like we live in California, most people, they know about earthquake safety, they don't do anything. Like if you realize that.
Yeah.
Well, because a lot of people just expect like a couple seconds and then it's done.
So when it really happens, a lot of us are going to be screwed.
Yeah.
Because we're going to think, oh, it's going to be ending.
When California eventually breaks off from the rest of the United States, we're not going to expect it.
Just like the Spanish Inquisition.
Just like all the people that are going to be storming Area 51.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's part of the reason why I'm glad, like, you were home with me, because, like, if that had happened when I was by myself, I didn't know about grabbing the door frame.
You would have had no idea what to do, yeah.
Well, because in Missouri, like, we have, like, little earthquakes of our own, because we're on a fault line, too, but, like...
But it's nothing.
They don't teach us what to do, because we don't get it as much as out here.
Yeah.
We're focused on flooding, tornadoes, maybe like fire if someone is stupid and decides to not
basically
keep supervising.
The main thing what they say for California, you have an earthquake, if you can't get to the door frame, don't be near any of the doors. If you need to, get under a table and hold on to a leg. That's what they say. That's another best thing to do. So if you're home alone, an earthquake happens, if you can't get to the door frame,
if you don't know what to do, just accept your fate. Then
get under a table and hold on to the leg of the table. Because that way, because if you're getting, they say the door frame or the table, because if an earthquake happens,
there's something over your head.
Glass can break. And so if you're at a door frame, at least you're holding on to something. At the table, if the ceiling falls, you have something protecting your head. Yeah. And then when it finishes, you're supposed to just go, you can
get out.
Yeah.
As I say, with tornadoes, they tell us stay away from the doors and windows too.
Oh yeah.
Because wind.
Are they gonna have PSAs about the people that are gonna try to storm
Area 51.
I'm trying to transition to talking about this meme because this meme.
We had the New Madrid fault, which is down closer to the boot heel. I've never felt the earthquake we got here. They're usually 3 or 4 on the Richter scale.
See, the first earthquake was 6.6, and then the other one was 7.1, which those are big.
Yeah, which Kari felt the second one. She
did, yeah. Kari felt the second one.
I see this stuff. People are gonna storm Area 51. Part of me thinks that they're not actually going to
Area
do
51.
There's going to be at least one person that drives. Takes that seriously.
Area 51 straight up said, "Don't fucking do it. We will shoot."
Yeah,
and it's like,
of course they will.
Yeah.
And there's people that I have a feeling part of me says, "Oh, they're not going to do it," but part of me says there's going to be someone so dumb enough to do it.
The memes that have been going around have been so good. I like the one where it's all there was one where it was an alien, someone wearing an alien mask, and then a guy on FaceTime's me and my alien friend that I got out of Area 51 teaching him how to use FaceTime was one of my favorites. I also love the one...
when I tried to storm Area 51. Alright, fine. Keep your secret.
But it was one of those where it's you know the meme of alright, fine then, keep your secrets with Frodo.
They had a black eye on Frodo.
He had a black eye on Frodo. It was when I get my ass kicked after trying to storm Area 51.
My dad asked me if I was going to Naruto run into Area 51, and I said, heck no, but more power to the ones that do.
Wait, are they close to Nevada?
No.
Oh, I was like...
But, when stupid shit like that happens, her dad will message her and be like,
yeah,
hey, are you going to do that
it's so
too?
good. But the thing is that, when I get my ass kicked trying to storm into Area 51, and it's a bloodied and bruised Frodo, I was like, fine then, keep your secrets. And then there's another one, so the government, one of them was the government making fake profiles to see our plans for storming Area 51, and it was a SpongeBob image of SpongeBob with binoculars and Patrick with a notepad. It's take this down.
Oh, yeah.
And then I like the one where it's the government right now as they prep for the storming of Area 51, and it was a really big guy.
Yeah, my dad gives me shit for the things I enjoy that isn't American, which is what my stepdad would do with me.
Yeah, I just want to say...
Say we were all in the show The Office. Who would we be? I'd be Michael. No.
I only know Michael. I haven't seen all of The Office, so I have no idea who I know who Jim is.
Jim
and
is
Pam.
Pam is great.
That's all I really know.
I'd probably be Pam, honestly.
I don't know who Creed is.
I'd be... man.
I watched enough of The Office.
I feel like Jim gets the brunt of dealing with all the bullshit.
I feel like you would identify with Jim, but in reality, you would probably end up being a Michael.
Yeah, I like one of those things.
Are you American?
Yes, we very much are American.
We feel them earthquakes.
Living in the land of Southern California, which if you hear me talk at all, you definitely know.
All right.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
totally.
But anyway, back to the whole Area 51
You'll know
meme.
I'm not from here, y'all.
Yeah. You'd be Kevin, bro. Okay, all right. Well, okay.
I don't remember who Kevin is.
I still say you'd identify as Jim, but you would end up being Michael.
A weed. Anyway, no. One of my last favorite of the storming Area 51 memes is it was the government preparing for the storm of Area 51, and it's this dude with a giant gun. It's I've been wanting to test this thing out. I don't even know how it works, honestly.
Oh my god,
it's so good. You know what? The thing is that the people that are in on the joke know that this is a fucking meme.
Getting that recreational Mary Jane,
y'all. Yeah, you're right. But it's one of those things where this is such a meme. the people who are creating this know this is not going to happen. It's like, it is such a meme.
And a majority of us know this is bullshit.
The thing is that, like, I haven't said that I'm going, but I want to say that I'm going on the page just to say that I'm one of those people on the page that are going to be going, and I'm not. I know I'm not going. It's a storm.
You're one of those people that says, "Oh yeah, I'm going," and then just never show up.
And it just, I don't answer my phone day of. It's like,
and then they're messaging the group, "Hey, where y'all at? I'm here by myself."
Yeah, but you know there's going to be people who are like shoulders deep in conspiracy theory territory that are going to take this seriously. Yeah. And that's the thing that I'm concerned about. Like,
well, that's not your problem though.
But the thing is that, like,
it's like Area 51 has said, "Don't do it. Right. We will shoot. Yeah. Please don't do it."
Oh, but what are they hiding? Listen, I want an alien friend as well, but honestly, I know
it ain't worth it, yo.
I mean, you know, his name would be Steve, and he'd be a cool dude, and I give him aviators, so it's like I already kind of got it going.
Well, here's the thing. You know how you get an alien friend? Buy an alien plushie.
Buy an alien plushie. That's true.
That's how you.
Or dress you up in like those alien costumes and put sunglasses on you, and you're good to go.
Also, I'm laughing at the fact you named it Steve, because I think that was America's alien friend in Hitalia.
It was.
Was it really?
He named him Steve.
I haven't watched Hitalia since I was.
That was just the one thing that was funny about America's character is just he has an alien friend named Steve.
Hey, Steve. That's so awesome.
So when you said Steve, I'm just like,
hey, it's Steve. Oh man. Okay. Real quick for us, because we're not too far into it. First impressions on Shadowbringers. What do you think? People. Okay. Before we move on to that, people can't even accept other human beings because of stupid things like skin or gender or sexuality. Nobody needs a fucking alien friend, right?
True.
No. Listen. I want to educate the world on that. Aliens are just chilling, my dude. Like,
no alien in their right mind would
want to come see us. That's true.
It's like that belief that I had whenever I was in school that, like, they basically was just like, if there is intelligent life out there, they would be circling the globe. They would see the shit that we're up to, and they're like, that ain't even worth it.
They're laughing at us.
And just fly away.
It just reminds me of that episode of South Park I saw while waiting at AX. Is the one where the aliens liked us because to us it was their
reality television. Yeah, it was. We were Earth,
and they were gonna blow us up because it was boring because we all were aware we're on a TV show.
Yeah, right.
Robert
I'm out of ice cream. Robert
that is a tragedy.
He is out of ice cream.
Go get more ice cream.
That's man rip. Okay, so first impression of Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers.
It's good so far. When are we playing more?
If anything, they would watch us on TV.
That's true.
Yeah, like South Park. It's good. When are we playing more?
I thought we were going to play after the podcast.
All right, perfect. I will let everybody know right now.
Please.
Damn it, me.
Yeah, I am so.
They had South Park playing at AX.
I am so. You beat me to it.
Yeah, I know.
Twitch lag is a bitch.
Yeah. So anyway, so Shadowbringers, you like it?
It's really good. I am enjoying it so far.
It is easily like the most work that they've put a lot of work into 14. This is easily the most work they put into the story. Like almost every cutscene has voice acting in it. The story so far is just so fucking good. Mm-hmm. I am in love with it. I'm angry that I love the music. I love the new land that you're in right now.
I haven't heard most of the music because since I have my headset on when I'm chatting with you guys, your guys' chat takes prevalence over the music.
Probably just because of the headset that I do use, I hear the music as well, even when we're on chat. Yeah. So it's really good. I feel like that, even though the voice cast was fairly good anyway, I feel like that they've amped up the directing of the voice cast. Mm-hmm. I really love the voice direction in this so far. I'm loving this. This immediately had its hooks into me from the start, and it's very reminiscent of how I felt about Heaven's Ward, because Heaven's Ward had me hooked from the last patches of A Realm Reborn, and jumping into Heaven's Ward, it's like, there's a lot of dark shit going on right now, and then you get in and you speak to Cat Jesus, who I still think I think there's more to him. I think he has ulterior motives. I do not trust him. I really do not. It's like, oh, I brought you here because we got to stop this. I'm just like, what's your fucking bag? And also,
when you're done.
Also, fucking, what was it? Ardbert. Why is that is one of the best things.
He's a ghost. Leave him alone.
He's a ghost, and he's like, he was so intimidating because he was the warrior of darkness. To find out that his name is
Ardbert. He's the wad.
Oh my god.
It's like
Ardbert the wad. That is...
It's like watching Meet the Parents and realizing that the guy's name is Gaylord.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's literally, I'm just like, he's this
takes
dominant...
any air out of it.
He's the narrator of Shadowbringers. He's got this big presence, and they reveal his name to be Ardbert. And I was just like,
I thought the narrator was the cat Jesus guy.
Who's the narrator supposed to be? Because I thought
it was the crystal. What do you
well,
call
at least in the trailers, they make it seem like
I
don't know.
I thought the Warrior of Darkness was the, but then it's like, but it makes sense for that Ardbert was the narrator. Oh my god!
It's like his nickname is Aardvark.
That's been my favorite part of Shadowbringers so far is Ardbert.
I'm gonna nickname him Aardvark because I'm never gonna remember the name.
Aardvark the Wad. Aardvark the Wad. That is really
I'm gonna come into the room one of these times when he's on the screen and I'm gonna be like, "Is that the Aardvark dude?"
That's me with certain characters.
My favorite thing was after that night of playing, I walked into the room and I'm like, babe, you gotta be fucking kidding me. His name is Ardbert. And you started laughing. You're like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah.
At first I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't make fun of him.
We're making fun of his name.
We're making fun of his name. Like, he's fine as a character. It's just his name is
dumb. To be named.
I want to...
His parents hated him.
At Yoshi P. Why is his name Ardbert?
Well, he can change his name.
Well, he's like, well, I think in the cutscene he said, like, I'll just call me this. So
just call me Ardbert.
Darby, call me Aardvark.
My mother hated me. Please call me this.
But regardless, this is shaping up to potentially be one of the best ever.
Real quick, I don't know if you remember. So, did you get a cutscene, or did you get a dialogue option when you went there if you could ask about Grahatia? Did you get that at all?
What the fuck is Grahatia?
Okay, you didn't get it
then.
That's
different.
Okay, that one... I was wondering if you were going to get it because I got that option because I played Crystal Tower before Shadowbringers.
Okay.
So, then you didn't get it. Yeah, apparently they said that depending on if you did the tower before you did Shadowbringers, you get certain dialogue options. I figured you weren't going to get it, but I was curious. Like, what
See
you
if
got.
it was something they
See if something if I only got or you would get it too, but apparently you didn't. So, we're all good.
That's actually really interesting to bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
Before we boot May, because we're going to talk spoilers about Stranger Things, and you don't watch Stranger Things.
So you get a boot to the head?
You get a boot to the head. Cool things that have happened with the channel. We didn't upload for 2 weeks. That was cool. No, we had a really great video that we did, and I'm at this point...
Yeah, I wonder how that happened.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we recorded a video finally. No, so we did part 1 of the Sega Genesis Disney games came out. And it was pretty great, and I am really fucking excited for part 2. If you were to explain, okay, let's talk part 1. What did you when we recorded it? Because I don't know if you've actually seen the video yet. Well, it's the first half. It was the Toy Story and Gargoyles. What was your favorite part about recording that first half of it?
The fact I got to play Sega Genesis games again.
That's true.
That was me growing up as a kid.
Relearning how to do Toy Story.
I had to relearn how to play, especially because we did not have a Sega Genesis controller.
No, we didn't. I had to map it on a really shitty...
Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then realizing that May never beat Gargoyles.
I didn't, because I got stuck.
Oh my god. And one of my favorite...
I love this game so much. I never beat it.
My favorite part about the Gargoyles thing is like, I never got past the castle. And then... Like not even 3 minutes in, you're like, oh, we're at the castle. I'm like, wow. So you're like, wow, I played a fourth of the first level and I couldn't beat it, but it's still one of my favorite Genesis games.
I like it.
That revelation.
I never got past it to this day. Obviously
in the video,
I still don't know where to go.
That was like...
She's gonna look up a guide for
She's gonna look it up. She really is. I am so excited for that. Oh, man.
But it's still one of my favorite games.
Yeah, but it's still one of your favorites.
I wonder how far in we're gonna get
a couple things I'm going to tease for part 2. So, I'm just going to say the last 2 games that you play are Aladdin and The Lion King.
We learned where May's salt actually came from.
Every time we've done a video, if there's ever been any raging, I've always been the one that has raged. This is it's YouTube content history for Hardest Reset / The Snazzy Gamer / 2 Snazzy Gamers. you finally raged, and you rage hard. And
because that game is bullshit.
Seriously, I
don't know. Weren't you guys trying to summon a character in like Fire Emblem or something?
But I didn't rage.
She didn't rage.
I was like, oh, she didn't rage.
I got it.
I was the one that's like, I fucking hate this game.
I was the one that walked out of the room because I was just like, I can't. I literally watched. I was like, how do you play this shit? And you're just like, it just happens.
It flows through me.
Yeah, she was tranquil because she's already been beaten, battered, and abused by gacha games hardcore. To which, to this day, you still have not gotten to Born.
No, I keep trying.
Keep trying?
Now I'm just waiting for Dimitri.
Oh.
Blue Lions later.
Yeah, so. But.
Well, Rick.
I have never seen May rage. Your rage at the Lion King. That's going to come in part 2.
It's fucking gold.
That was the hardest I have laughed in a video, I think, ever.
At least in a while.
For hardest reset, it's the hardest I've laughed in a video. For our whole span on YouTube,
it's been a while.
It's been a long minute. It's been a hot minute since I've laughed that hard. You get angry, which is half the reason why I found it so. Because I never see you that angry. When we were watching the Wang video for it, you were getting angry, and you were ranting about
his anger.
You felt his rage and his anger.
It's because I'll let you finish.
I was just saying, but seeing apparently the record store got a bunch of mint Beatles records in yesterday.
Oh, man,
he's gonna buy all of them.
Buy them all. Make money. And sell them.
Make money.
Yeah, make money. Buy them. Yeah, but
he's like, with what job?
It's one of those things where I have never seen you rage that hard before. It was one of the funniest fucking things that has ever happened.
Oh.
Well, now you know.
Go get him.
Too late now.
You can't go tomorrow?
Probably not.
People probably bought them up already.
Because they're
bought them up.
They're mint Beatles records.
Yeah.
They're gonna... With what money?
Yeah.
The money that you somehow managed to acquire to get other records.
True.
Maybe he ran out of money.
Grandpa, help, I need a loan.
May, I want, just as a tease for part 2, what are you most excited to see in part 2? Like, which...
Not those fucking hippos.
Oh my god, man.
What's more infuriating, though? The hippos or the
ostrich? Because the hippos, I could do that no problem. I'm thinking the video says otherwise. When I play it, I can do the hippos no problem. Like, okay, you know, I can
only suck so much dick for cash.
I can navigate with those stupid hippo tails. With the ostrich, no matter what the fucking... I don't know if those are if those are spiky balls, bushes, what the fuck they are.
Yeah.
I cannot get past that.
Bird's nest or something?
Well, no, it's those red leaf things on the tree. That's what I always hit.
Oh.
So
my favorite part is...
when I die and I get mad.
Every
time she fell into the water.
I went through the whole like block. That was an over hour long recording block we had. There was a part because you collected one of the suns that was the continue sun. You angrily set the controller down on the desk. You're like, I'm done. It's one of those things where what the
I'm not even gonna acknowledge it. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I have no idea what's going on over here.
Nope.
Regardless, you're a turtle.
That was quite an entrance that I have seen. But no, my favorite part is it gets to the continue screen. Because the way that we did that video is when you got a game over, that's when you finish playing that game. It's not bad, just some rhymes. Oh, shit, I gotta find a fucking beat and
we always have to scan
the
comments.
The computer's a little further away, and I'm just looking at it. Damn.
Well, we also got to scan it.
Dude, shout out to Mike Ross forever. Fucking
great collection. That's your guys'
great collection.
Shit.
Hell yeah.
You guys have
it's one of those things where he's spitting rhymes, so there you fucking go. But like my favorite part is you angrily set the controller down, and I'm crying of laughter, and I go, man, you gotta continue. You're like, why on this game? I'm like, because it's not a game over. Please, for the love of God, continue. For the love of God.
Like, okay,
it was
you
so
died,
funny.
move on. No, this one, like, no, you gotta keep going. This is like...
It wasn't a game over screen, it was a continue screen.
Honestly,
it was different.
When I die and go to hell, that's gonna be my punishment.
She's gonna be greeted continue with that music.
Satan is gonna make me play the Lion King.
She's gonna as she wakes up in hell, you start hearing the Sega Genesis version of do 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 do, and you'll be like, no.
And here's the thing, I listen to that sometimes on my way to work in the car. I like the music. I just don't like the fucking stage.
Good. Your rage is
What are you currently playing?
Oh man, we just talked about it, but May and I are playing Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. What are you currently playing right now? Because you're a little all over the place.
I'm a little mixture of whatever the hell. Cause
You got
I
some
started
Sims.
Red Dead
You
2.
started playing some Red Dead 2 after you'd watched me play it when it first came out. You're still in the middle of playing Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Which...
Are you stuck?
Skellige, she got to get
is just
Skellige,
hell.
and she was not ready for that spike.
Skellige is just hell, and I'm just sitting there.
Skellige. I remember
There's
Skellige
too many
being a little
places to get
different.
stuck. There's places I can't access because I can't jump far enough.
Yeah,
Or whatever bullshit
yeah,
Geralt is dealing with, and I'm just like, I don't want to continue with the main story right now because Yennefer is the main storyline right now. And I'm like, I don't
I
wanna.
went pick back up Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, you were playing that. You told me you played that
I
yesterday.
went back to my Switch. So
I could restart Witcher 3 and just try.
That is a
Triss.
lot. Yeah, she really.
I fucked up.
She
with
fucked up
Triss.
the romance line with Triss,
Well,
and I was
okay.
like, "What did you do wrong?"
Okay, did you play Witcher 3?
Nope.
I was the one that played Witcher 3.
I don't care about spoilers.
Okay, there's a scene in there where you're at a party and you've been drinking, and Triss even admits to you she's drunk.
Okay.
And she like leans in for a kiss, and it gives you that quick time
You're
option.
supposed
Do you
to- you're
kiss her
supposed to
or
kiss
do you
her.
not? And I was sitting there like, I don't want to kiss her when she's drunk because then I feel like I'm taking advantage of the situation, and
You
don't
were
want to do
thinking
that.
morally what was the right option.
You were
but
thinking as
the
Mira
game,
and not
The game
Geralt.
is like you're
Yeah.
supposed to kiss
You-
her to make her stay, and I'm just like,
you were
I
thinking
don't wanna do
you were
that.
thinking like Mira and not like Geralt.
Geralt.
That was the issue.
You weren't thinking
yeah.
of the game, how they're like, oh, this is the route to go.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
but
fine.
Even then, I feel like Geralt would at least give a shit and care not to
Well,
take advantage of
that's
somebody
not
with
Geralt.
their
He's very
drunk.
much a ladies' man. Don't get me wrong, but
But-
like.
I'm just like,
When you're both crunk at a party,
and it was
Yeah.
a quick time event,
Yeah.
so I had to
Yeah.
pick quick, and I was like, fuck.
yeah.
Now you know you can start over.
Don't kiss her. That's a lot of
I
progress
actually
I have to lose.
I actually had a guide up in order to properly romance Triss because
Yeah.
as soon as she rolled up, I'm like, a hot redhead. Fuck yes, I have to romance her.
The only time I
And she
brought
was
up a
in-
guide is if something wasn't triggering in a quest and I thought I was doing something wrong,
Which-
which there's been a bunch of those.
There's a lot of like
Did it
time
turn
and
out
location
what
specific.
did it turn out just glitching?
A few times, yeah.
Sometimes
There's a couple of quests that I wasn't in the right spot at the right time. I had
Yeah,
to
you
go
have
somewhere
to
else
wait
to trigger
sometimes,
something.
yeah.
Oh, but you didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. The Triss thing, though, like, I didn't know
That
that I
Triss
was supposed
thing,
to kiss her.
yeah.
I was taking the moral high road, and
You
I
didn't-
apparently
you didn't-
fucked up.
Which means you didn't get the cutscene when you fully finish her route where you get to fuck in a lighthouse. Like that's.
I tried to get her to stay when she was going on the boat, though. I really tried.
No, baby,
She
please
still
don't
left
leave
anyway.
me. Baby,
like,
don't
damn it.
leave me. Don't leave me on a boat.
Well, because Geralt basically says, don't go. I love you, and I'm just sitting there like, oh no,
Yikes.
this is gonna guilt her into staying, isn't it? Nope, she left.
No, she's like,
I don't need no fucking man.
Like
She said.
Geralt, you ain't a man, you a fuckboy now.
Like,
Where
on the-
you at?
On the one hand, I'm proud of Triss because she didn't get guilted into staying for something like that, even though she wanted to hear that from him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, damn it, Geralt.
I get you.
He tried.
I fucking get you, dude. But yeah,
But yeah, Skellige has me raging.
Skellige has you raging just like Lion King has May raging on our
I
upcoming
will
Hunter
rage
series.
with that game forever. Even the day
Yeah.
I eventually beat it naturally,
When
I'm still gonna get.
We're gonna do
angry.
Extra Life again this year, which I'm so sad we didn't get to do it last year. But
Yeah.
we're I'm gonna make that a donation incentive that you have to play.
We still didn't get through our donation incentives from a couple years ago.
a couple years ago. I know. I still need to suffer through Yuri on Ice in order
I
to
need
make
to
a
watch
video,
Sao.
and you need
I'll
to
watch
suffer
that with
through
you.
Sword Art Online.
I'll watch it with you.
It's like we still got things we gotta do. Extra
Extra
Life.
Life.
The things that people
all
you're
here.
gonna have to hit a certain amount, and if we do, I'm gonna have a block open for you to sit down and fucking play.
Hey,
during-
Greg, do your
push-ups.
push-ups.
Oh, I remember that.
Well, one of the incentives that I'm going to do is throughout that stream, I'm actually going to go back during that and recount how much I was supposed to do, and throughout the stream, I'm going to make up the push-ups. That's one of the things I've got planned for Extra Life next year. That's really cool. Other cool things that are coming up, we're going to have the whole squad here next weekend. You can expect some sort of fun times to happen.
For birthday shenanigans.
For birthday shenanigans, I'm certain a Homebrewers episode is going to happen at some point. Not going to make 100% promises, but I'm certain at some point something like that probably is going to happen. knowing Brad, it's his birthday. What perfect weekend to do it?
May's like, it's my birthday too, yo.
I'm gonna be also Rob is on his way. Also I'm gonna try to film some sort of weird like, hey, birthday vlog video of just us fucking around having a good time. And yes, May.
That art exhibit gallery thing is free.
Nice.
Yes.
It's only you pay for it if you want to take it to get the autograph of the character designer for Persona 5 and
okay.
Catherine.
Do you know if cosplay is allowed in there?
People have done it.
I'll bring the cocaine and hookers is what Robin is
I mean,
gonna
like,
do.
with it being an art exhibit, I figured there may be limitations on what you can do.
like when Yakuza came out, there were cosplayers. They have like at the art exhibit, they're gonna have a photo background. So cosplay is very much allowed.
Yeah.
People have done it.
Okay.
They did it for
I didn't know if it was gonna be one of those things of like, you can dress in their normal clothes, but don't be like their personas or some shit.
Gallery Nucleus, that's the name of the place. They're really laid back. They like stuff like that.
A lot of people like that.
The only thing is
gallery,
that if we're going that day, we have to go early because I don't know how long that line's gonna be. It's from 1 to 7 on a Saturday.
It would be worth it though.
And honestly, I'm still going. Spoiler alert: Chrissy and I are doing Catherine.
Ooh,
She's being Catherine with a K. I'm being Rin.
Nice, you're bringing back Rin. Awesome.
Brad might be Vincent.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So one half can do Catherine and the other half
can do Persona.
So yeah, that's one of the events we're going to, guys.
I'm probably just gonna do, because I know it's still gonna be in the middle of the summer heat. I'm gonna.
Is it just Persona 5?
It's Persona 5 and Catherine.
Yeah.
Persona 5 and Catherine.
Yeah.
So
the character designer did both.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna do the school uniform Ryuji like I do, because that'll be nice and cool.
If I could maybe like find a wig, I could probably do Human Morgana.
You could, yeah.
I have tons of black wigs.
She's the purveyor of black cosplay.
Seriously,
wigs.
you need a black wig. I can.
It's like we're doing a drug deal, but with black wigs.
Yeah,
though.
You need
it's
a black
pretty great.
wig?
Yeah.
Do we have like a full shot of the Human Morgana outfit yet?
I can look for you. I don't know.
I don't remember if it's like super plain clothes or if there's some sort of design on the shirt.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So. I wish I had stuff put together for Mishima because I could totally. I've wanted to do Mishima for a while.
That's true. Yeah. So we're about to move on to Stranger Things 3 talk and about to send May off. You two have some small talk about things you're excited for your birthday weekend and stuff like that. Well, I go use the restroom so that way I don't die while talking about Stranger Things.
Go.
Oh, okay. Use my bathroom.
It's closest.
I know. So yeah, basically we're going to that art exhibit. That's on the 17th. And then
are you guys going that day or?
Because that day is the opening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's basically also they said they have a big announcement for Persona 5 Royal.
Oh.
So I'm like,
going now.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be there.
So
and then on
17th,
that's a Saturday. It's like, because I know Annie Manga I think is on the 2nd or the 3rd.
The first weekend.
Yeah, so it's second. I think the 2nd, August 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
And then
2nd through 4th, I think.
Something, yeah. But we're only going Saturday because, well, I don't know what you guys are. I only bought a ticket for Saturday.
That's probably what we're leaning
towards. I only bought a ticket for Saturday, so there's that. We're going to that. That's in Pomona, the Fairplex.
I also need to mark that event anyway, just because if Romano and Reese want to do like a D&D session, I need to know that weekend is off.
Yeah, let them know. Yeah, because Annie Manga is that way, and then the gallery's on the 17th. Greg and I already we're going on the event.
I put I'm interested.
You can change it then if you want to. It's up to you. But I put I was going because I wanted anyway. Mm-hmm. So just go ahead. You can do that, but just let them know.
Yeah.
Okay, so now if we ask for availability for August, I'll be like, well, not that day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so
also, did we make a decision about Annie Manga?
Yeah, we're going to Annie Manga.
Are we going Saturday? Or
we're just going Saturday. We're going.
Okay.
Well, if you guys go on Sunday, I'm not going to be there.
Yeah, we're going Saturday.
Yeah,
I figured that's what we were leaning towards, but I didn't.
With it being a small convention, I think we'd be able to get the full experience going just one day. So we're gonna go on Saturday.
I only decided that one day because I was like.
The only downside is I can't do a dress code with everybody.
We'll figure something out. If I can't get Haida finished in time, we'll probably just do Persona 3 again.
I need to fix up Minato's weight a little bit. He took a little bit of a beating.
It's the only thing. It's all good. So let's see other things. We are gonna have short shorts coming back soon. We're like the one video I said we were gonna do. Definitely more. Homebrewers will be coming soon. and all that fun stuff. So
maybe a vlog for any manga.
Maybe
I'm gonna
most
try
definitely,
to get one
most
done.
definitely.
I have my selfie stick now, so.
Well, the thing is that like I'm also gonna have the camera too, and we're all gonna be going. So I know a vlog's gonna happen for any manga in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. I want donuts. Robot's back with the one and the donuts. But
donuts.
So this is where we part ways with May because you're not a fan.
I'm looking at something. You guys keep talking.
Say you're not really you don't watch Stranger Things at all. But Mira and I have watched Stranger Things. We're gonna chat complete spoilers about Stranger Things 3.
If you haven't seen season 3 and you care about spoilers, just leave now.
Yeah, just leave now for the love of God because you do not. I'm actually going to Twitch right now to put Stranger Things 3 spoilers in the tag. So if any randos roll through, they do not have to deal with
spoilers.
Yeah, that way they know immediately that we're gonna be chatting about spoileronies.
I was about to be like, well, be prepared for chat audio to relay.
No, it's all good. I made sure to mute it. Okay, Stranger Things 3 spoiler talk. Boop. And done. Now there's the big all caps Stranger Things 3 spoiler talk.
So people at the Yakuza event when their Nucleus had it, they did Yakuza cosplay.
Yeah,
so
it's cool.
Cosplay is very much welcome. You just don't. I know certain places are like, no, you can't do it, but for here because they do stuff all the time.
Well, also because like Yakuza looks so casual that you could do it and it wouldn't. Anyone outside of it probably wouldn't see that as cosplay. They'd just be like, "Oh, people are dressing."
I don't know. If you're dressed up as Goro Majima, that's really extra.
Yes, but I mean, like a bunch of the characters just wear like the suits and shit, and they look like
like
Kiryu. Yakuza one, they did gave away Figmas.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It was weird stuff.
I remember when they did the Yakuza stuff. I remember hearing about that. I was like, man, that was really cool. Okay, so now that we've given people ample warning, and you can depart at any period of time, or if you want to just stay and chill on your phone, you can do that as well.
I'm getting up in a second. I'm just being.
It's all good. So, because I know we're gonna be getting deep in the thick of the spoiler talk, and I know we're gonna move. I'm gonna at least move in a moment. Generally speaking, though, what were your thoughts on Stranger?
Romano went ahead and dipped out. By the way,
that's fine. What were your general thoughts on Stranger Things 3?
I cried.
You did cry.
We all cried.
We all cried. Yeah. Like let's not kid ourselves. We all cried.
Hashtag justice for Alexi.
I asked them.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I'm dipping out.
All right, cool.
Hashtag justice for Alexi.
All right, bye, May.
Bye.
Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you. You're welcome. Enjoy your Stranger Thingy Mabobber.
Stranger Thingy Mabobber.
Stranger Things talk.
Yeah.
Oh god, this chair has me nervous.
Welcome to our Stranger Things podcast, where we're going to talk Stranger Things for the next 20 to 30 minutes. So yeah, you were saying you were crying a lot.
Justice for Alexi.
Justice for Alexi. I did not expect to like Alexi as much as I did, because the way that they painted him at first is like he's working with the Russians, which by the way, Maeve, the Russians are in season 3 of Stranger Things. Not the Russians.
Well, no, anything
Spoiler, the Russians are actually bad in this season.
What? Bad Russians? I would have never known.
Well, no, because I mean,
shit.
There could have been that red herring of like, oh yeah, the Russians are bad, and it's like, no, it's honestly just your paranoia. No, this season they are actually bad. May come back.
But no, I was not expecting. I was like, he like they were saying he was enemy of the state. They took him as prisoner. Don't leave me with these losers. And it's like I was not ready to like Alexi that much, but then
they took him to the fair and he won a Woody the Woodpecker.
He did,
and he was just so excited, like drinking his cherry Slurpee, holding his Woody Woodpecker plush that he won, and he's so proud of it.
Fucking kill him!
Like, why would you do that?
They literally the final episode. They shoot him right in the. Was it the final episode or second?
Second to last.
It was the second to last. That's right, because that was kicking off.
Because we had that emotional moment, and then the last episode happened.
Yeah.
Which we had more emotional kickers.
Oh, yeah. That was... God. Remember when we realized that episode...
I was very much coherent for the Alexi episode.
Yeah.
It was the final episode where I was trying to stay awake because it was late and I was tired.
Yeah. When we realized that episode 8 was an hour... Was basically the length
of... Over an hour.
It was the length of Toy Story. Like, that's how long episode 8 of Stranger Things was. But...
It was like, what, 70 minutes, you said?
77 minutes.
Yeah, so it was
that was fucking long.
It
didn't feel like a movie, though. I'm definitely going to say that. It didn't feel like a movie, but it was the length of a movie.
But yeah, no, Alexi very much happened second to last episode.
I want to say I kind of flipped back and forth on, like, Stranger Things does something really good where they write things for characters to
and
either...
you fucking hate them.
That you fucking hate. Like,
and then something happens to them later.
I hated Billy so much.
Right?
I hated him. The fact that he got possessed, I was like, I don't feel bad for him.
He was such a fucking dick.
Up until 11 is grabbed in by the possessed Billy, and she sees
the memory of
how he was raised.
Yeah.
And it's like, literally the first thing out of my mouth was, that's why he is how he is. It was a shitty, like, he was raised poorly, which is why he has the shitty attitude.
And like, that's what makes the final episode hurt so much, is just because 11 is reminding him about his mom.
Yeah.
And, like, how she was with him, and, you know, like, she's pretty, she, you know, she loved you, she was proud of you, and all that jazz, and he's just like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And he makes that ultimate move.
Yeah.
And basically
sacrifices himself for that.
Dies for the group. And it's just like,
fuck!
I
hate him, but I'm crying.
The extremely flawed disposition of Hopper this season. You know, there were moments where you got so pissed at him. But at the same time...
His anger just came out of nowhere for me.
For me, I think it makes sense. I think who was he in season 1? He was the cop that, like, 5 episodes in, realized, oh, these kids aren't lying. There's something going on here.
Yeah.
He let his personal demons be overprotective. His personal demons allowed him to be overprotective of 11 in season 2. And then...
Which, I get that anger.
But the season 3 anger, like, it
came out of nowhere sometimes. Like, for me, it's just like...
Which I think is why it's so realistic, is that...
Well,
sometimes the anger just shows up out of nowhere. Not that it's justifiable. I'm just saying sometimes it just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, which I mean, like...
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopper in this season, I loved Hopper. But in this season, he was showing some of that toxicity that shows up in some of these characters. It's like, he was trying to guilt trip Joyce for standing him up and shit. He was accusing her of seeing other guys whenever he was like, I'm clearly interested in you. I was like, that's really toxic behavior. You need to chill the fuck out, dude.
Yeah.
She's not even focusing on the relationship aspect. She just lost Bob. She's not... She's not focusing on that shit.
Dick punch you with emotions with that moment when it was in an episode 1.
She's still got the picture that Will drew.
She's got that sitting up, or like when she's sitting there eating dinner alone on the couch,
watching Cheers,
and it flashes back to when her and Bob were watching Cheers.
Yeah,
and I was just like,
she was not ready for a relationship.
She was not, which good on her.
She
for
made
not
it
being
very
ready.
clear to him that she's not ready for that.
Yeah,
and he still like guilt tripped her. She was busy doing other shit. She was looking into the magnetic field thing that the science teacher brought up with her. That scene is so fucking good.
That scene was so great.
But I mean, like, some of this anger that Hopper had literally came out of nowhere, and it was so toxic that I was just like, Hopper, chill out.
Yeah.
I love you, but chill out.
Yeah.
There's other important shit going on. Your feelings for her can take a back seat for a little while.
The fact that he was the one out of the main cast that took so long to believe that there was another conspiracy, when at this point it literally should just be...
You should accept it,
anything is fucking possible at this point, you know?
Yeah, 2 years back to back, some weird shit has been happening. Yeah. You should accept it at this point.
I don't know, man.
But like...
Hopper's always been one of my favorites, and even though I was like... livid with him at some points, like, I think having that flawed nature was part of the reason why I love him so much, because
like I said, like, I love Hopper's a great character, but just some of that anger this season just made me like, go, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah,
there's other way more important shit going on right now. People are actually like dying in this town, and all you can think about is your feelings about this girl. She's not ready for a relationship, dude.
Yeah.
You mistook that thing anyway, because when that whole suggestion about getting dinner to get that one night, and she stood him up, she probably didn't even interpret it as it could be a date. She just probably figured, maybe go to a burger joint or some shit. Like, that kind of casual
which they've
atmosphere.
had plenty of times in the past.
Which she would have done that in a heartbeat, because as long as it's just friends sitting together and chatting, she was okay with that. But any inclination about it being a date totally came on his end.
I honestly feel like maybe
I feel bad, but at the same time,
I'm honestly,
damn.
I could just be reading too much into it, but I almost feel like, because, so many fucking fans, and even David Harbour himself has said that, like, that's a relationship that the fans had wanted to see come to fruition.
It was.
And I felt like that was the Duffer Brothers pumping the brakes on that and saying, you don't want this. Because look at how obsessive and toxic he's being about it. Yeah. This is not what Joyce needs.
And especially because Hopper made that point of, like, he had feelings for her when they were in high school and shit. And it's just like, I get it. The feelings are still there. But she's still getting over a loss. She's got some levels of PTSD from that whole entire night just because of the nature of how Bob died. Yeah. That's very traumatic. And she's sitting there watching this happen. Mm-hmm. Watching him basically get gutted by Demogorgons. Yeah. And it's like...
That just doesn't go away.
And with all the shit she's had to put up with Will getting possessed, Will being in the Upside Down, like, she's got way too much going on. She still contemplated that idea of moving out of Hawkins.
Which, spoiler alert, the last scene, they move out of Hawkins.
Which I honestly think she went to Maine. I think she took Bob's suggestion and went to Maine. If she went to Maine,
the thing that I told you, if she went to Maine, I'm like, that is one of the biggest nods to Stephen King that they've already made a bunch of nods to Stephen King.
If that sign says "Welcome to Derry," I'm gonna lose my fucking shit. Oh, too much shit is happening in Derry, Maine.
Too much shit is happening in Derry, Maine. Yeah, absolutely.
But no, it's like I honestly think Joyce took him up on that idea and just went to Maine. Yeah. Because he was pushing for it in season 2 because he thought it would be good for her, and look at all the shit that happened at the end of season 2. Yeah. Will got fucking possessed by a mind flayer. Bob got torn apart by Demogorgons.
One of my favorite things, and I know that there's like the references to Dungeons and Dragons, and there's no. There's
not references. It's just outright.
I know, but I was like when I say references, I don't mean like a little not here. No, it's like they named the big enemy in season 2 the Mind Flayer because they recently had that in their campaign, and then like season 1 was the Demogorgon.
And they opened up the fucking page.
He opens up the fucking monster, like the OG monster manual to read up on the Mind Flayer, and it's like. But one of the big things that I did not pick up on was Eleven's power to sit down. Because I paused it and I like had this massive revelation that I was pissed I didn't pick up on beforehand. That's basically the spell Scrying in Dungeons and Dragons, because you have to
either know the person or you have to have
know the person or have enough information. You have to perform some sort of ritual in order to start scrying. You're not allowed.
And with her, it's just concentrating.
She has to concentrate, blindfold. She has to have the white noise playing.
Mm-hmm. She has to have some sort of
and then what solidified it as well was the other part of scrying is in Dungeons and Dragons. If someone rolls high enough, they know you're there. And when she was scrying on possessed Billy, the way I said it,
he picked up on her.
He rolled high enough to know she was there.
He picked up on her immediately.
When I saw it, I was like, they literally took the spell Scrying from Dungeons and Dragons and turned it into Elle's power, and I loved that so fucking much.
Which honestly, I think that was less Billy noticing her, and I think that was more just the Mind Flayer itself.
Yeah, very much so.
Because, I mean, she, for all intents and purposes, she more or less came from the Upside Down.
Yeah.
Her power is very much something that could come from the Upside Down.
Oh, yeah.
She's had plenty of encounters with the Demogorgons. She's probably had encounters with the Mind Flayer that she may not even remember.
Probably, yeah.
Like, more so than what she's already had. But, like, for all intents and purposes, that Mind Flayer knows her signature so well that when she pops up into a room, it knows that she's there.
It knows, yeah. It's one of those things where...
It's one of those creatures you will never be able to roll high enough.
Speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, fuck Lucas and fuck Mike.
For just shitting on Will.
Listen! when Will is not possessed, he has nothing bad going wrong. All he wants to do is hang out with his friends and play Dungeons and Dragons.
The most that happened to Will this season is he knows the Mind Flayer is near because he gets those chills.
Because he was possessed by the Mind Flayer, so he's kind of got a hypersensitive. He still
has that connection.
He has that connection, and that's like literally. I thought when they did that the first time, I was like, oh, don't do this to him. But then you find out, oh, it's just because he had that connection before. He just knows when the Mind Flayer is close. So they kind of used him as like okay, we're fucked, or okay,
it's
we're
the
good.
radar.
Yeah, it's the radar basically. But it's like. All he wanted to do
He's
was
not
play...
in the Upside Down. He's not possessed. He's having a good season.
All he wanted to do was play Dungeons and Dragons, and...
Mike is too obsessed with his drama with 11. Yeah. Lucas is dealing with Max being a piece of shit.
Which, the friendship between 11 and Max...
I love it
so good. I love when she takes Els shopping. And
I
it's
was
like,
so
you need
scared that they were just going to still be at each other's heels.
I love that, like, she's like, come on... Like, let's go,
fuck boys,
let's go shopping, let's have a girls' day. You know, what do you mean by shopping? It's like, how do I know what to...
Teach her to shop for herself.
Yeah, it's like, just what looks good. And she's trying on the clothes, like in every 80s montage of people shopping.
What you like, what looks good.
Which, that is a fucking look, and I love it. It was cool. I
will say the part that made me laugh the most with 11 was that bit when Mike and Lucas are outside with Max and 11 when they're leaving the mall.
Yeah.
And Mike tries to have that excuse that we're trying to find a gift for you. And 11 has that bit where she's just like, I dump your ass.
I dump your ass. You know,
as much
what,
as I ship these two together, like
I dump your ass.
The way 11 just does it.
I dump your ass was season 3's bitchin', because that was fucking awesome. I was like,
she just gets up in his face and goes, "I dump your ass."
I was like,
and then she
that
just gets on
so
the bus with Max and they're laughing.
I love it so much.
Which, I mean, honestly, she fucking needed it.
Yeah.
Because they were, after the whole bit with season 2, it's, it's implied that they hung out together basically every single day since then. It's like, you guys are getting way too attached. You need a break.
3 inches. The 3 inch
Keep the door
rule.
open 3
Keep
inches.
the door open at 3 inches.
But it's like, I understand Hopper's ordeal just because, like, I had parents that, like, anytime any one of the opposite sex came over to the house, no matter what kind of connection I have to the person, it could be my stepbrother's friend for all I care, and I don't give a shit about that. As long as they come into my room, I have to keep the door open. I've been there.
If I ever had a party in high school, I had the one rule is like, you can't be in a room with a girl, and I'm just like, oh.
Basically, if we knew each other in high school and you came over to my parents' house, we would have to keep my door open every time.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what level of relationship we're at. We could be best friends for all that matters. Got to keep the door open.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But it was so good. It's just like, I dump your ass.
It's so good. And then I was so happy that everyone's giving Dustin shit the whole season. Oh, you don't really have a girlfriend? Real. The girlfriend's real, and they sing the Neverending Story theme song.
Which, by the way, the person
who created Neverending Story,
they're just like, oh my god, I'm so happy.
It was so excited. I was like, that's so.
Because now people all this time are looking that movie up. Now that got referenced in Stranger Things, a new generation is finding that movie.
It's just like all the kids that like, what's Dungeons and Dragons when they watch season 1 and they're like. That when
or like Critical Role.
That when like Critical Role was starting to pick up steam, it's like that was the 1-2 punch of like, hey, Dungeons and Dragons is fucking cool. Everyone plays Dungeons and Dragons, which thank God Dungeons and Dragons is cool, because I'm gonna be closeted if I play Dungeons and Dragons and it wasn't cool. But regardless,
which going back to that, fuck Mike and Lucas.
Fuck Mike, fuck Lucas. You have to play with Will the Wise, like. Holy shit.
He's been trying so hard to get this campaign back on the road, and y'all are like, no.
I felt Will on that just because of, like, the homebrewers trying to get everyone together and playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's like, but the thing's like, we don't have anyone trying to ditch or anything.
We have a shared interest in the campaign.
The best thing, though, is just like, Brad will never have to worry about that because my girlfriend loves Dungeons and Dragons. Suya's fiance loves Dungeons and Dragons, right? So it's like, our significant others love D&D, so we're all playing together, which is pretty great. So we will never pull on Brad what Will had pulled on him by Mike and Lucas. And I was like, we were literally shouting at the TV. He's like, we'll play D&D with you, my dude.
Yeah, he's just sitting with them at the mall. Can we go play D&D now?
I was like, that is such a mood. That is such a fucking mood.
Like,
I loved
we'll
it.
Play with you.
I know. And then the emotional scene where he's busting down the fort in the rain.
Fort Byers.
Yeah, busting down Fort Byers.
Or Castle Byers.
Castle Byers, and I was just like, oh,
I was crying.
You kid, I feel so bad for
Because
you.
it already had this thing of, like, he's looking around the room, or looking around at the walls, and he's got, like, the drawings and, you know, the pictures with all 4 of them, and when he took the picture of them as the Ghostbusters from season 2, like, he rips it up, he starts, like, hitting everything, and I'm just like, no, Will!
That was,
Cries.
That sucks. I was like, poor dude.
He feels like he's losing everybody, and I'm just like, no.
And then, Steve at Scoops Ahoy. He's lost. He can't talk to girls. Steve and Robin are the best friendship I've ever seen.
Also, what the fuck, Erica? Chill out.
Oh my, yeah.
Erica, you're a nerd.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
You are a nerd.
You like My Little Pony.
You
are a nerd.
Sass on Erica.
I love that
she's Dustin, like, I ain't a nerd. It's like, bullshit.
No, my favorite part of that is Dustin is breaking down what's happened in My
Little Pony. It's like, what?
How do you know what happens in My Little Pony?
Because I'm a nerd. It's like, he threw it right back at her. I'm like, oh, that sass.
I feel like it's taking the less toxic nature of, like, males watching My Little Pony and bringing that of, like, no, we're just fucking nerds.
We're a nerd. I'm watching it because I'm a fucking nerd. It's like, because he was so unabashed.
Like, millennials now, we call that being a brony.
Yeah.
Back in the day, though, it's just, you're a nerd.
It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you watching My Little Pony?
Because it's a good show. Because it's got dragons in it.
Because think about it. There is a dungeon. There were dragons. Literally Dungeons and Dragons. It's like... Yeah. Yeah. It's like, why do you know that? Because I'm a nerd. That was really great.
So it's like the least toxic way of saying, yeah, he's kind of a brony.
Yeah, no, it is. It was handled, and the fact that it's like, that's the way he explained it, and it's like, oh, okay, and it's like, and that's it. It's like, and they moved on. It's like, that wasn't like a point that they talked about. Going back to Steve and Robin, I want to give the writers of, what was that, episode 6 or 7 with the bathroom scene. Whoever wrote that bathroom scene, they deserve to win awards for that episode. Because for the longest time you're thinking, because Steve's starting to crush heavy on Robin, and you're starting to think that Robin was crushing
back on him.
Steve. But Steve, so they're sitting in the bathroom after all this shit's going down.
And they're like high.
They got
injected with some shit.
It was when they were injected with the truth serum.
Yeah.
So they're in the bathroom of the...
And they're so fucking out of it.
They're so fucking out of it. And so...
They're starting to kind of come back down.
They're coming back down a little bit, and he's talking, and it's like, well, who's this new girl you like? And he basically describes Robin and stuff like that. And, you know, for just to really paraphrase the scene, it comes out that Robin's gay.
Because she basically like, I think you misunderstood me. I wasn't obsessed with you. I was obsessed with the girl that was watching you.
Yeah, and it's like... And Steve's like, wait, what? And it's like...
She was just like, I couldn't understand for the life of me why she was looking at you and not me.
And it's like...
And it was just the subtlest little drop, and you're just like...
When that hit, you just were like, oh, she's gay. And then especially in the 80s, which you gotta imagine, being gay in the 80s, that's the AIDS epidemic that was
even the 90s, too.
Like,
it's
into
still...
the 90s. I know it's still a big thing, but you gotta think, it started to culminate in the 80s, right? And it's like, you gotta think, like, you know, coming out in the 80s, vastly different. Yeah, it basically was.
For all intents and purposes, that was a death sentence.
It was social suicide, and it was, you know, but it's like, you liked who you like. But and the way that they wrote that, Steve, he initially is taken back, and he's like, shit, I'm getting rejected again. But then he's processing what she's actually saying, and then they have a conversation. He's like,
he's just like, wow, you could have had better taste.
He literally, like, his next comment is like, wait, you crushed on her? No, you gotta have better taste, girl. Like, come on. And it's like, no, she wasn't that great.
Fun of her singing voice.
Yeah, it's like, she wasn't that great anyway. You know, it's like, he took that, like, he took the rejection like a champ, and he handled someone with confidence basically coming out to him with such grace.
Yeah.
Which... I mean, it's scary nowadays for people to come out, and there's general, like, acceptance from people. But back in the 80s, to come out to anyone was so terrifying, right? Yeah. So, like back in the day, they would have two lives. They would have their social life, like their...
And then their private life.
They would have their fake life, and then who they could really be on the side, which is... That's why they would secretly go out to, like, gay clubs and stuff like that, or gay bars.
And if you were found out, oh boy. Especially if, like, someone from your work happened to see you go into a gay bar.
Oh, yeah, you were done.
You would have to explain it the next day, and...
You would be done, yeah.
Depending on who's talking to you.
Yeah.
It's not going to be...
It's not going to be good, yeah. But it's like, just he handles that with such grace.
Yeah.
It's like, that's easily, I would argue, one of the best scenes in season 3 was that whole scene. And I was like, that was so... I hope whoever wrote that episode gets at least some sort of recognition, because that was... I want to say, season 3 was my favorite of these 3 seasons. I think season 3 was written perfectly. I think...
as much as I love season 3, I feel like 2 was probably the stronger one on my end.
On your end. See, season 2...
Especially because the cliffhanger for 2.
The cliffhanger for 2 was good.
I'll
definitely give you that. But
because it's like that, you know, because it's the Snowball.
Yeah.
They're playing, you know, the song from the Police.
Yeah.
And you're thinking it's like...
Every breath you take from the Police, yeah.
It's this creepy stalker song, and you're just like, why does it fit in with a school dance? And then you take that flip side of everything turning upside down, and the Mind Flayer is watching over the school, and you're like,
oh, that's why they use Every Breath You Take. Okay.
It all clicked, and I was just like,
while that's true, I feel like season 3, in not doing something, actually has diminished season 2 even more for me, because now episode 7 of season 2 is even worse for me now, which is the one where
which one?
That's the one where she goes to Detroit, where 11 goes to Detroit in season 2.
I liked that episode.
The more I think about it, the more I realize I fucking hated that episode. Which is sad, because they were setting up, there's other people with powers.
I will fight, because we needed that episode. We needed a break.
I get that we needed a break, but in all honesty, it was...
and plus, part of it, that was what brought 11...
Not having them...
Let's talk about Ratatouille. No.
Not having...
We needed...
Not having... Hey, shout out to being hosted on here right now. Thank you very much, and if anyone's watching, thank you very much. But no, it's one of the things where with season 2, with none of those characters showing up in season 3 at all, it makes that just stand out to me as not being great. And I can't, like, I know you will fight me on that, but I'm
going to have my rebuttal in a second.
That's fine. Like, my issue was the way that they did it in season 2 is they open up with them and it's like, okay, this is the direction we're going. We're found out that there's others out there, which it's not hard to infer that. Mm-hmm. But then you don't hear anything about it until episode 7. You have that standalone episode with that group, and then that's it. And then they never show up again after episode 7, and they're not even spoken of in season 3. And it's like, I was just like, if you're gonna make this as like why were you framing this as something that was supposed to be important when it was just gonna be a fucking side thing? Like, that's my biggest issue with it. And like I said, them not showing up in season 3 makes me kind of look at season 2 and kind of go like, why did you fucking do this then? Like, I understand your argument of we needed a break.
I'm going to have a full...
But I know, and I will let you talk in a moment. It was like, my thing is, I understand you needed a break after all the shit that's happened, but there were so many other things you could have done. You know, you could have focused on so many other smaller things, or told a smaller side story, or maybe have episode 7 be, maybe we're pulling back and having a backstory episode instead of going to this place, and just, it felt unimportant, and it really stood out to me. I fucking hated it. But I didn't have that in season 3. I think having season 3 being very concise in its storytelling, all the episodes flowed together really well. I mean, I know you didn't have too much of a cliffhanger per se. Like, this, honestly...
No, we had one.
I mean, the thing is that you had the end credit scene, but you didn't have, like, the
We
before
had the
credits.
Demogorgon.
You had the standing Demogorgon, which is... There's a lot of people theorizing
and
about that.
also, in that scene, there's a line that I totally overlooked.
It's the... What about the American?
Not the American.
Not the American, yeah.
What American? Who is in there?
Are you ready for the theory?
Is it Hopper?
People are
thinking it's Hopper.
People are thinking that when you get taken in that thing, you're not killed, you're taken to another place.
Yeah, but some of the bodies literally blew up.
Yeah, but remember...
Like, the Russian bodies blew up.
In the first episode they did, but the thing is, they had a year to refine that. But the thing is that people are saying not the American. They're suspecting either that happened, or they're suspecting that Hopper didn't die, but was still down there because Joyce thought he had died.
This reminds me. There's also something that's come out since season 3 ended. I'm blanking on her actor's name. The 11.
Millie Bobby Brown. Millie Bobby Brown, yeah.
Someone said in an interview she may have actually leaked that Hopper is still alive.
Really? Yeah.
Because she said something along the lines of, 11's lost her dad. Or so she thinks.
Oh, yeah.
And now everyone's reading into it going, does that mean Hopper is alive and 11 just thinks he's dead because that's the information she has?
I really don't know.
And I'm like scared to think of if that's actually what the direction they're gonna go.
Oh, yeah. Well, my
There's also kind of something I'm scared of just because, you know, that ending scene is you're in Russia with demogorgons.
With what? With bipedal demogorgons.
What if they're experimenting with demogorgon DNA?
Like on their captive.
And if Hopper is the one in that cell, what if they mix demogorgon DNA with Hopper, and that's how he would come back?
God!
Because you gotta get rid of the demogorgons.
Yeah.
What if it's just something about it?
My God.
What if he like shows back up and he recognizes 11, for example?
Oh no. Oh, don't do this.
Like,
to
I'm
me.
scared if that's the direction they're gonna go. But I mean, just there's a few loose ends that I have no idea how.
Yeah, that's very true. But regardless, I think season 3 was way better written, and season 3 was my personal favorite. And there's other moments we're talking about, but you wanted a rebuttal about that season 2 part.
Okay, so that episode, there's a few points.
You're wrong. Stop it. No, we're not. No, I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding. Please go ahead, babe.
Okay, there's a few points in this.
Okay.
One thing, this is how Mama got brought back into the story. Because this whole time we'd been hearing about how 11 has a mom, and she's been looking for her. She finally found her, but Mama can't speak normally. She keeps repeating phrases. Yeah. We find out why. But at the same time...
Which the callback to that in season 3, though, was actually really well done.
And then you find out part of it is Mama wants 11 to find this other girl. Mm-hmm. Which is part of why she goes, because she finds her. Mm-hmm. We needed that. Because for part of it is 11's trying to figure out what she wants to do. Yeah. She wanted to find Mama. She found her. Mama's got some issues that she can't really work out. Yeah. Mama wants her to find this girl. Mm-hmm. That's basically her sister.
Right. Shout out to Am.
Because they were in the same lab.
Shout out to Am Sharp, who picked up on the Volcor.
But
pretty great.
They were in the same lab. Mm-hmm. They were there together.
Okay.
And even Kali says, you know, one day I came back and you were gone.
Yeah.
Like, true. There's a bond there, even if they can't quite remember.
A lot of shit gets fucked up there, yeah.
So it's like, 11, during that whole bit, because she's so pissed at Hopper for keeping her confined in that cabin.
Yeah.
She finds that her mom is still alive. Mm-hmm. She found her through the connection in the TV.
Yeah. Okay.
Goes on this this journey to find her. Mm-hmm. Finds her. Finds out she's had some shit happen to her and she can't communicate normally. But she can communicate the same way as 11 can. Yeah. Finds out she has to go find Kali. Because Mama wants her to find this girl.
Right, yeah.
She manages to find her. 11's still conflicted because she doesn't want to go back to Hopper.
Yeah.
Because she knows she's going to get locked back up again and told that she can't leave.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, she still wants to help Mama. And also she finds out her caretaker's just a little shady.
Yeah, just a little bit,
because she reports her.
Yeah.
Which, she goes there, she finds Kali. She learns more about their past, you know, their shared connection. She finds out how Kali grew up, which is vastly different to 11. Because 11 was taken by, you know, Brenner, Papa.
Yeah.
So she had that whole experience. Kali had a thing where she's living on the street. She finds this group that, you know, they connect with each other and they use their abilities in a lot of different ways than 11 does.
Yeah.
Which, we needed that anyway, just because it gave 11 a moment to see how someone else with those same abilities, or something like that, lived apart from her. And it gave her an opportunity. Do I go back to Hawkins and go back to the people that need me? Or do I stay here with this sister that I found and help her? Mm-hmm. Because their powers, complemented each other.
Yeah.
And just like, either way, she needed that moment with Kali anyway. Mm-hmm. Just to kind of like, Kali gave her a little bit of strength anyway. Right. She taught her kind of more how to channel her anger, which at the time 11 really needed. But I will argue we needed that, just because Kali, at the end of that episode, she even had that moment of, do I go with her?
Yeah.
Or do I stay? And in the end, she chose to stay, but she's still thinking about 11. Because she's looking out that window and she's crying. Because it's been that whole time of, we've been apart for so long, we finally found each other again. And now, just like that, she's gone again.
She's gone again, yeah, that makes sense.
But it was personal growth for 11, because she needed to figure out what she wanted to do in the meantime. Mm-hmm. And it was also growth for Kali, because here's this girl that she remembers from when they were kids. Mm-hmm. She just found her again. That it's someone that shares that ability that she has. Mm-hmm. And she's just gone.
True. Okay.
And even if she never comes back, we know where Kali is. We know what she's up to. Her whole thing is just... She explained her backstory to 11. That was all the development we needed for Kali to kind of explain where she was. And why she probably won't be in any other seasons, because she belongs where she is.
I just wish that they had just...
We needed that.
I just feel like that they needed to better connect that. Because it was so far removed from everything going on in Hawkins. I just... My personal thing is just... And then I'll let you say more about it. Just, I just felt like, if that was going to be what they needed to do, like, it just... To me, it just felt like they didn't do it well. Like, they could have better connected everything. In my opinion. Like, it was... But, anyway, go ahead.
And then we also had that bit of, 11 saw Brenner again. Whether it was Kali fully projecting him, or if it was just a thing that 11 actually saw that wasn't Kali. Because Kali could have projected just the words.
True.
And Brenner could have just been something that 11 actually did see.
True.
But just that little tease that he's there, and that whole motivation of going to find this other dude that was following Brenner's orders to torture her mom. Yeah. It gave her that moral conflict of, well, he did this injustice on me. Do I return the favor? True. And then she saw that he's got a family of his own. And she had that moment where she couldn't do it. Yeah. Kali got mad. And, she was going to kill him. And 11 took that choice away from her. Mm-hmm. And Kali got pissed. And it's just like, you may have your belief, but don't take my choice away. That entire, theme of that episode, we needed that for 11. Because she was going back and forth. She didn't know. Mm-hmm. She's mad at Hopper, but she misses the people that she grew close to. She misses her, chosen family. Mm-hmm. But here's this girl that shared those experiences when they were kids, knows where she's coming from, connecting to her. Do I stay, or do I go back where I'm needed? Mm-hmm. We needed that. And we also needed a break just because... There's way too much shit going on in Hawkins. We need a breather.
Hawkins. We got a lot of shit going on.
Because season 2 was actually really creepy. There were some genuinely creepy moments.
Well, yeah, the whole with Will being possessed and shit like that. Absolutely.
And we needed that break just because, with... Now, don't get me wrong, the shit that happened in that episode is still intense. And, there are certain moments that I was just like, oh, 11, don't do that. But at the same time, it's just... It was still a break from Hawkins. It was a break from the Mind Flayer. It was a break from what was going on with Will. Mm-hmm. With Mike dealing with his shit. Lucas and Max kind of going back and forth. Steve and Dustin. Which that whole development was so good. But we needed that break from Hawkins.
I love Best Mom Steve.
We needed that break from Hawkins. We needed to actually see that there were other people in different parts of the country that had that shared experience, that have those abilities. We got teased it in the first episode when Kali made the bridge collapse, or so we thought. But it's for 11, we needed to see her learn about how other people lived with those abilities. Because she, in season 1, she basically said, I'm a monster. Yeah. Kali taught her, you're not a monster. You just need to find a way to channel your ability. Mm-hmm. Which she did.
Which you saw in spades.
And season 3 paid off with that because she channeled her anger at the Mind Flayer and the other, like, creatures that came out. And she channeled that anger hard. Like, I'm fucking proud of her.
Yeah, absolutely.
But without that episode, 11 would have never done that.
I just wish it was done better. That's just my thing. It's like, I feel like it could have been done way better to where
the placement might seem weird.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make that episode any less valid.
Well,
it just needs to be put in a different spot, maybe.
We shall agree to disagree on that. We're good there. We've been going for 2.5 hours. We need to wrap this up soon. But a couple other things I want to touch on. Getting more and more of Steve and Dustin, is always going to be my favorite. Steve has developed...
That's another part of why season 2 was so good with me.
Steve has quickly become like one of my favorite characters. I love that kid so much.
Best babysitter.
He is best babysitter. He is second best mom because Joyce will always be best mom. Best supportive mom is always going to be Joyce. But yeah, Steve is just, you know, to see him go from like this stuck up prep kid to kind of be this like
really hated character
to kind of just be like, you know, he's working at an ice cream place, having his coworker crack Russian code with the nerd kid in his neighborhood, but willingly keeping these people. I'm like, that's so good. I love it so much. I love how he can't flirt with girls well anymore. That's so funny.
Relatable. I can't flirt shit.
We all related to that. It was really, really great.
That was another part of why season 2 was so good to me, just because like his little advice tidbits to Dustin.
Oh, that was some good stuff.
Oh, my heart.
Yeah, that was.
And then the snowball episode.
Him doing Dustin's hair with the Farrah Fawcett spray.
The fact that Dustin still has that.
He still has the Farrah Fawcett spray. Yeah,
and he fucking maced Lucas.
He fucking maced Lucas. It was so
poor Lucas.
So funny. Last thing I want to touch on is Hopper. We've already said Hopper's died, or some people say died. If he's alive, I just don't think he's ever going to be the same person.
Well, I mean, they all had some varying level of PTSD in this season.
Well, I mean, like,
because even Hopper was just like,
as a person, it's going to be extremely different if he's still alive. But he died, and
as far as we know,
he's died. And then we get the scene where 11's been brought in to Will's family. And they're packing up the home, and they're moving, and
Joyce has the note from Hopper.
Joyce has the note from Hopper, and you get that very long...
Well, because originally it was going to be the speech that Hopper gave
that speech,
Mike and 11, because, you know, they're spending way too much time
together.
Can I
also say, I love the fact that we never found out what exactly Mike was told by Hopper. That we can infer what was said, but the actual contents of the full conversation... You know, Mike kind of just says, yeah, he said some really bad things, but we never actually saw.
Well, with the reaction he had though, like when 11 tried calling him the next day, and
you just knew it was bad. I think that was definitely.
I think it was basically Hopper threatening. It's like, you come near her again, and I will kill you.
It's one of those things where like they did that's talk. It's the primary example of less is more. They didn't need to show that confrontation episode, but it was just as effective, and it was awesome.
Which Mike even hints at to other characters, like Lucas is like, no, Hopper is crazy.
Yeah, he's out of his mind. Like, it's like,
he told me to stay away from you.
Yeah, it's but he dies, and he reads the full letter, the full write-up that he did have, which
took over from Joyce's little notes for him.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where it was just a really well written moment, a very well filmed, like the cinematography on those scenes, on that scene was just incredible.
Tears.
We were all crying and stuff like that. So, that all being said,
we were crying because it's so early in the morning.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about with Stranger Things, or would you like to wrap it up?
I want more of the science teacher.
I was so glad we got
Mr. Clark is so good.
We got a little bit of Mr. Clark, and I'm so glad that we did get that little bit, but I'm with you. I did want some more.
And I'm also... I'm a little conflicted because I don't like Nancy so much per se.
Okay.
But if she had to end up with either Steve or John, I'm glad it's Jonathan, just because by the end of season 3, they were okay. They started off bad in season 3.
Here's my thing. Nancy...
We can agree Nancy is a piece of shit, but her mom is even worse. Nancy
quickly became one of my least favorite characters with season 3. And it like I said, it was the opposite of like, you know, you have a character that you hate that you get more stuff on, you're like, oh great. And I've never been the biggest fan of Nancy. I question a lot of what she did in season 2.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I get it.
Although the moment she has with Dustin at the snowball is still really
the moment,
cute.
But there's like for every moment you have that, she kind of gives this weird wishy-washy answer to Steve as the status of the relationship in a sense. She's like, oh yeah, we're done. Maybe we're done.
And then she got drunk and then came clean. This is bullshit.
No, this is bullshit, and it's like...
Which props to Steve.
Props to Steve for handling that. Good for him.
And honestly, like, fucking props to Jonathan for just taking her home, tucking her into bed. That was it.
There was nothing, yeah.
Like, thank you.
Seeing her in this season, and here's the thing.
We need more dudes like Jonathan as well.
We need more guys like Jonathan, absolutely. My big thing is, like, I felt for Jonathan so much because he's trying to be supportive of Nancy. He understands that there's unfairness and injustice the way that women are treated in the workplace. He gets that. But he also understood the other side of the argument of you can't just say fuck you and do whatever you want. You have to make a statement in a good way.
Well, because he had different experiences growing up, too.
He did, yeah.
Like, their dad was an abusive piece of shit.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I gotta be the man of the house. There's shit that I gotta put up with for my family.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to endure it because they're relying on me.
Yeah.
Nancy had everything handed to her.
Yeah.
And you know, like, she's a straight A student. She's, you know, like, all this positive shit.
Yeah.
Her family is just basically, like, the Cleavers, you know. They're this perfect all-American family on the outside, and they're expected to keep that appearance. So she's gotta, you know, strive for that shit.
But, like...
She never had to fight for her opportunities. Everything was handed to her, and she just thought that that's how the world worked.
And the thing is that, like...
She kind of got a rude awakening.
She got a rude awakening, yes. And I'm also, like... Let's also be 1,000% clear to anyone who's watching this. That treatment of women that was depicted in season 3, it's shocking because of how realistic that was for the time.
I wanted to fucking I wanted to have her like pour coffee on that dude's crotch.
Yeah.
So fucking bad.
Abso-fucking-lutely. But like the reason why I questioned and I was really angry at Nancy was that would have been fine on her own, but she forced Jonathan along with her, which he's like,
she's just like, if I'm going down, you're going down with me.
To which Jonathan's just like, don't do this, like don't drag me. It's like, you can fight however you want to fight, don't drag me into this. It's not that I don't support you, just I don't want to lose my security. I really don't.
Yeah.
And he did. And I felt really bad for Jonathan because it's like he loves and supports Nancy, but he also knows it's like he's got to support his family. He's got to support his family as well, and he's just like, I know this is wrong, but it's like,
and especially in his mind, Will comes first.
Yeah,
that's his little brother.
He even like Jonathan even talks shit about the people that work there. He's like, I know they're garbage.
Yeah,
you know, trust me.
He understood.
I understand 100%. He's like he just didn't agree with how he was being dragged into it. Basically.
Because Joyce probably went through some of that shit.
Absolutely.
Whenever they were younger.
He's probably very privy to that kind of treatment, too. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, like, Nancy, I went from being to really kind of just not liking her.
Although we can all agree, her mom is the worst.
We got into a debate about her mom. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to rehash the full debate. But basically, if there was any poor writing choice, it was trying to give some sort of redemption to her mom, who at this point is irredeemable garbage. I have my problems with Nancy. I know I said I don't like Nancy. I don't hate her as a character.
She's not despised.
I don't despise her.
Level.
I don't despise her. I don't hate her. I disagree with how she as a character handled some of those choices. Mm. But at the same time, I still respect the putting the nose to the grindstone to figure out what's going on, because
she needed to do it.
Thanks to her, that's how the rest of the group knows that the Mind Flayer's still there. Like, she was very vital to them knowing that all these weird deaths are happening because...
Like, Will can only do so much. He can only detect when something's near, but he can't figure out how they're there.
The information that they needed to know that this is what's going on.
She was the research portion of
and it's like, there's a lot of respect there. But it's like, she also did some shitty things.
Yeah.
But her mom...
Which not every character is going to be perfect.
Yeah, no, like, even... Like we talked about earlier, I loved Hopper, but he was really shitty this season. Like, he was extremely shitty this season.
It doesn't take away the fact that we love Hopper.
Yeah.
But he had some really bad shit this season.
Yeah.
That toxic anger came out of nowhere half the time, and I was
really
just like...
did. Which props to David Arbor for playing that so well.
Yeah.
Also, I thought the dad bod from Thor was crazy enough. But Jim Hopper's dad bod, that is quite literally like
he's literal dad bod though. He's a dad now.
He absolutely is a dad, and he's got the hardcore dad bod, which was just, it was so funny to see. It makes me happy that people, they're not just throwing the sexy, attractive people on screen. Like I'm like got a 24-pack of abs. It's like they'll throw dad bod on there, and you see it, and you're just like, oh Hopper, oh man.
Well, even like Mike and Nancy's dad.
Yeah.
Very much the definition of a dad bod.
Absolutely, but it's like
that poor guy.
I feel so bad for her dad because he's
got to put up with that shit.
Well, the thing too is just like he's not really a deadbeat per se. He works long hours and he needs to unwind.
He's just not obsessed with how society perceives their family.
Yeah, it's. But
whereas,
it's like
whereas the mom is like, she's very much focused on her looks.
Very much like that. She was gonna go fuck Billy.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not having any satisfaction in my marriage anymore.
Yeah.
There's this dude that's like half my age. I'm gonna go tap him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hit that hardcore.
Which, to the credit of the show, they gave her that moment where she thought about going and she ended up not going.
Yeah.
And then she confronted Billy the next day, saying, "I thought about it, but I can't do this."
Yeah, I think
deep down she realized, she may not be, they may not be getting it on like they do or like they used to, but she, she probably still has feelings for her husband.
Yeah,
it's just not visible that much just because she thought she was unhappy. It just took that moment for her to realize.
Making her like speak so highly of herself to try to help Nancy feel better.
That's what made me go, really?
So fucking hollow to me. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
It's like you literally almost went out and slept with a dude that was
You
Nancy's
almost cheated on your husband.
With a dude that was Nancy's age.
Yeah.
And you're gonna turn this
around
on her.
That was the one thing that made me go, really? But regardless.
You gotta fight for it. It's like,
You mean the way you tried to fight for Billy's dick? Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so I think that's about it, unless you have anything else you want to chat about. I'd say I'm hoping not, because we've been going for almost 3 hours and we need to wrap this up because I'm hungry. I want to eat.
I still say we need justice for Muse.
I know.
Even though the new cat is really cute.
The new cat is adorable, but we need justice for Muse.
We need justice for Muse.
But anyway, so people who've stuck around this long, thank you guys so much for joining us. I say, final verdict, you love Season 3. Season 3 was my favorite of the 3 seasons so far. I cannot wait for more. I want more so fucking bad. I'm excited. But yeah, so that's been our talk. Thank you guys so much for joining us. You can catch us live every other Sunday on twitch.tv/GregSnazAgamer. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram, although I'm not really on Instagram right now.
You're taking a break.
I've been taking a break. I kind of need to for mental health reasons. You can follow her at Miriam Cosplay. You can follow May on Twitter at Yume Joshi with two eyes, and on Instagram as May Gusta with two eyes. It's going to be in the description. You can follow me on both Twitter and Instagram at GregSnazAgamer. And I'm definitely really active on Twitter right now. I like Twitter. It's a lot of fun. So, regardless, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll catch you guys next time for another podcast. Stay tuned. There will hopefully be some Homebrewers content soon. With the whole crew rolling through this coming weekend.
This weekend.
Yeah, definitely. That would be a lot of fun. So look forward to that. We're about to wrap up that chapter of the story and move on to what the next set piece is going to look like. And I'm really excited to see what Brad's going to be cooking up next for us.
We'll play D&D with you, Will.
Yeah, and we will all 5 of us
always
of the
play D&D with Will.
All 5 of us will always play Dungeons and Dragons with Will the Wise. Because Will the Wise, and his little hat and cape was the fucking best. He literally,
I legitimately
it's
feel
so
like
cute.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Duffer Brothers paid attention to things like Critical Role and took inspiration of like him having the music playing and being a super active DM. And please, for the love of God,
at Duffer Brothers, please bring Critical Role on. Please.
Can you imagine if they have
them cameo in the background?
Can you imagine have Matt as a cameo? Like Will goes to like a comic convention in Maine if they're going to Maine. And it's one of
I only watched the last 10 minutes of the last episode of the last season, and I already wanted to cut my feet off.
Well, okay. Well, that is your opinion.
That's a little extreme. Please don't cut your feet off.
Yeah, no. Regardless if you loved it or hate it, don't. You kind of need to watch. Kind of a big deal. But regardless...
Everybody's got an opinion.
I would say it's...
But please don't cut your feet off.
Yeah, no, for the love of God, you can hate whatever you want or love whatever you want. Just don't cut off your feet. That's going to be... Then you have to deal with disability. You can't walk anymore. That's kind of a pain in the ass. I wouldn't want to do that.
Pains.
Phantom pains? Yeah, absolutely you'd have phantom pains. I don't want that shit at all. No. Regardless, we're done. We gotta go. It's been almost 3 hours. I gotta go play Shadowbringers with the squad. We'll catch you all later. Thank you guys so much for bearing with us for another long podcast. We'll catch you guys in a couple weeks, and we're excited for more content. Follow us or subscribe to us on YouTube.
Add our stuff.
Yeah, add our stuff.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Subscribe to us at youtube.com/artistreset. Until then, we'll catch you all later.
Okay, thanks, bye.